Hello, 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 hello. Oh, that's not the thing we need to open here at all. Hello, 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 hello. My name is Almantas. I am a former professor of sociology, a current VTuber, an old man who loves old things. And I am joined today by the one and only...
Yo, what's up, everyone? My name is Sclimbo. I'm Sox Agency's certified Sclimbo and self-improvement VTuber. Also old.
Also old. Also old. Yes, it's true. It's the guy. It's the guy. And behind us, featured in the background, is the Brofu.
Beautiful creation. Beautiful creation.
Yes, because while you are saying Brickin, I am vegan for like decades at this point. So I had to veganize the Brickin.
That's understandable.
It was good. It was honestly pretty good. I know it's a violation of the spirit of Brickin. If I did it again, I would probably cut it into a little bit more bite-sized chunks. Not even super bite-sized, just like maybe like quarters, so there's a little bit more surface area.
Yeah, that's how you should do it.
Yeah. But it was still good. It was still quite good. It was actually like quite moist on the inside. It was like
I think
it was like a good distribution.
I think it's really in the spirit of Brickin, honestly, because even though it is vegan, right, you're still getting complete protein, and it is still the same idea.
It's the same idea.
Yeah, that's valid.
Yeah, it's the same idea. Let's Brofu soup. Let me get in the hellos, because I think we got some new people here, and I do need to pay attention to the new follows, because that's good streamer behavior. That's the right thing to do as a streamer. Hello, AlmantOS. Hello to me. Hello to Seribot. Hello, Michan. Hello, Sykin. Hello, VTuber Male. That is to say, Sclimbo. Hello, Velvet X Ice. Hello, Emilia_Not. Hello, Manic Kume. Hello, Nando VT. Hello, Matthew Rice Seeker. Hello, Omdus VT. Hello, Polybius Nova. Hello, Gloomy Bite. Hello, Gringotts Underwriter. Hello, Soup and Pie. And let's get those follows looked at here. Thank you to... Oh, wow, that's quite a few follows. A5 Hanwoo, Manik Yumi, Emilia Not, Sykin, MD, Gloomy Bites. Hello, hello, hello. And yes, thank you for the Almantas, Matthew Riceseeker. Yes, Emilia, that is why I think I would cut it into slightly smaller pieces, is that the spices were really all on the outside. So the corner pieces were like really salty and tasty, and then like closer to the inside, it was just kind of tofu. But no, I think it was a fundamental spirit, right? Is you just season it and put it in the oven. Just season it in the oven.
It's more about the function, right? The function of the simplicity of it, and not touching it too much to make it quick.
Velvet, thank you for the follow. You could poke holes into it. Somebody did suggest scoring it, but scoring tofu is kind of silly. Because like tofu, like the way it works, it'll just kind of like fill in the gap pretty quickly unless you actually cut out chunks of it. Can you smoke tofu? Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely, not trivial. Extremely trivial. You can smoke tofu very easily, not a problem. I can't smoke tofu because I live in a New York City apartment, and if I do that, I think I will get murdered by my neighbors, and possibly have the FDNY called on me. Sclimbo is a really good model. Everybody's a fan of Sclimbo's model.
I'm honored. I'm honored, honestly.
Yes, how are you doing tonight, Sclimbo?
Good. I had to put on my good shirt today because I'm, among company. I didn't want to be shirtless.
The formal. I've got my tie on and my terms of service, and you've got your hogs. Your hogs at the ready.
Got the hogs out. Always got to have the hogs out, but I'm doing good. We just talked about fitness earlier in the day. We answered a bunch of questions, so this is fitness part 2 for me today.
Fitness part 2, yeah. Hello, Noodles. Hello, Vovern. Oh, Vovern's going to appreciate this. I actually have a fitness thing to teach Sclimbo about for once. We've actually managed to hit something that like Sclimbo's behind me on, and Vovern will appreciate this one. Sclimbo doesn't do vocal warm-ups.
I don't.
He doesn't do vocal warm-ups. I was like, what? No, I was like, no, you got to do them. And he was like, no, I just destroy my voice.
Yeah, I just ruin my voice. I just go live and scream a lot and then stumble over my words.
Hello, Mimika Bear. Vocal warm-ups. You got to do your vocal warm-ups. You got to, for public speaking. It was different people have different routes into which they come into this. And I was a professor, but that also means I did a lot of public speaking. And I had a job outside of teaching that a couple times a year, I would have to stand up in front of a group and talk for 16 hours.
Ooh.
I just felt that I did understand. I was just teasing you. So I would get one break for lunch in the middle of that. But yeah, it was basically 8 hours straight, and then like have lunch for half an hour, and then another 8 hours of speaking. And on my feet the entire time. My feet were very sore. It was a very much.
I mean, good steps though.
Good. Very much like a good shoes job, right? Very much like an investing good shoes job. Maho, thank you. Welcome in. But yeah, it was you got to practice it. You got to do those vocal warm ups. It's not just for singers. But you go lower than you normally speak, and go higher than you usually speak, and hold those for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Do those a couple times. Lower than I usually go.
Lower than like down here.
Lower than I usually go. And then how do I get high?
You constrict
up here.
That's you're getting there. You're getting a little California accent in there as well, but that's okay. Whatever takes you there. Yeah, I know, it's weird.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I know. I don't know where you got that from, but it was yes, Babinka, that's where I was going next. So you gotta do your lip trills and your tongue trills. Your and your gotta get those in. Loosen them up. Loosen up the muscles.
I actually do.
Yeah.
I know I have to get back on it because there might be some Sclim singing coming up soon that I have deadlines for.
I'm excited for Sclim singing. And then you gotta get in your tongue twisters. You gotta do your tongue twisters. A couple rounds of tongue twisters. Sklimbioki.
No, we're jumping to the bigger stuff right away, actually.
Oh my goodness. That is one of those VTuber things that I think is extraordinarily not on the list for me. I finally got it checked, and I am like just barely above the limit for actually being fully tone deaf.
Yep. I saw your post about that.
Yeah. I can like reliably tell a full tone apart.
Mm-hmm.
Anything more fine-tuned than that, and I'm in trouble.
I can like tell pretty easily. I have a good sense of that. I just have zero training and didn't do a lot of karaoke when I was younger. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how I'm supposed to sing, and I kind of just try to copy the song as close as possible, like I'm a Sharingan user or something, which isn't very original. So I don't know what I'm doing, but we just ball. We ball.
Yeah, we're balling. I mean, that's the spirit of karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, when I did karaoke when I was younger, I would usually get pulled off the stage.
Oh no!
It wasn't until I was a VTuber that like I learned that that's like considered like really unusual and rude.
Yeah, actually, super rude.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I thought that was like everybody had that happen to them sometimes.
Yeah, karaoke's supposed to be about having fun, not being good. That's what covers and stuff are for.
Yeah. Fair enough. So yeah, I only do rap songs now.
Nice.
I do karaoke. So far, only Northern Boys. just Northern Boys. But Nate's a vocal coach. Vovern is a vocal coach. So I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna feel it when I say that you don't do any vocal warm-ups. Yeah, you gotta learn your vocal warm-ups.
Hey, I need help.
Hey, you need help. Yeah, which is unusual. I think this is like the last time I'll have any sort of like real physical advice for Sclimbo today.
Yeah, maybe,
because like the real thing we came here to talk about, right, was exercise and aging.
Yeah.
Zora, hello. Because it's a redeem. It's a very funny redeem.
It is a good redeem.
I like it a lot. But yeah. So exercise and aging. That was the thing. Like me and Sclimbo have been talking about for a minute because I'm getting up there in years. And it's important. It's important. What were you gonna say, Sclimbo? I interrupted you.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of different facets to it, so it's really up to you where you want to start, but we can tackle it from a million different angles, answer questions, whatever you like to start on.
Yeah, so folks, do bring us some questions. My first thought, right, is that it's largely about pain and quality of life management. It's kind of like my first...
yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I think what can happen a lot is, especially with people who are already very active. And so I think there's really two groups, right? There's two groups going to old age that tend to have a lot of issues. And I would say group number one is people who were sedentary their whole life, or in many cases, people who were like very medically obese, for example, who have joint issues from that or have natural joint issues, right? So people who are coming into it with an issue that is building from their past. But on the other side, you do have people, especially in advanced old age, who were athletes, who were extreme athletes, whose, you know, cartilage is degraded and things like that, and they're having similar issues. So it's like two distinct groups almost of people who were very active when they were younger, but maybe did it a little too much, and then people who weren't active at all or had an underlying disability.
Yeah. So okay, so yeah, things where it's like a long snowballing process, and then people for whom it's like they were not expecting, right? To like the old age was like maybe they intellectually were expecting it, but they're used to being physically fit, and so that's definitely that both of those groups are of interest to me, because I am not the most physically active man. I am reasonably physically active, and I have made the choice that my physical activity of choice is running, which is a potentially problematic one.
Yeah, so running's great for you. There are ways to mitigate damage from running over the long term, but this as a good example, my slim father himself is a runner and always has been. He's been running competition since he was 15, and now he has two fake knees. Now he doesn't have normal living knees anymore, because the reality is, while running is still very good for you, over that many decades of intense running and stuff like that, especially on pavement, the high impact to your joints there will eventually, in many cases, lead to like degradation of cartilage and make it so it becomes harder and harder to run, and you can have problems in old age. So that's one of those examples of like a more advanced person having a similar issue. And running is good. There are ways to mitigate things like that, such as running on softer surfaces like, you know, ground instead of pavement, and so on and so forth. But yeah, like, and I don't want to scare anyone away from running, but if you run as your main hobby often, you know, very hardcore 6-7 times a week, you might run into that in old age for sure.
Trashy Sags, thank you for the follow. Yeah, it's actually kind of an interesting one too, because I've also seen, I have definitely seen people exaggerate it quite a bit, where they think that like even moderate running will cause you to basically lose your knees by like the age of 50, which if you do any amount of running, even at a pretty casual level, you will see in pretty much any race the geezer brigade of guys who are continuing to run into their 70s, and they're keeping it up. But yeah, it is an impact one. It is an impact one, and it wears down the cartilage in the knees, and that's the thing you got to think about. And that does kind of get me to like a bit of the framework that I have had for my life, and I'm curious how off base I am on this framework for thinking about exercise and fitness. Is that you really kind of have like three hypothetical categories for how physically fit you are, and that's cardiovascular, like your lungs and your heart, and then your skeletal muscular, how strong are you, and then your flexibility.
I mean, that's how I look at it too, honestly.
Okay, that's good. I have my kind of understanding is that of those three, the one that kind of has the lowest amount of like necessary investment before it kind of caps out on value is flexibility, right? Like you can get pretty much all the value you're going to get out of flexibility for pain management purposes in like half an hour a week. Seems like my understanding of it. Like you don't need to be that flexible.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I would go like a little higher on time investment. So I know a good example would be if you went to like a yoga class like 2 or 3 times a week or something like that. Yeah, that would probably be adequate. I would say definitely the hardest investment is skeletal muscular, right?
Yeah,
because
there's sky's the limit on skeletal muscular.
Yeah. Cardio, you can get decent cardio pretty quickly. But yeah, sky's the limit on the other one.
Yeah. The limitation on skeletal muscular is that like, well, one, like you've got your time limitations, you've got your protein limitations. You can give yourself enough skeletal muscular. I Syken, you actually have an MD, but I heard skeletal muscular like growing up. I'm
just saying words. Don't worry about it.
I have no medical training. I have no medical training. Like I am a sociologist. Like I have no medical training whatsoever. Closest thing I have to medical training is like I know some amount of things about poisons because I have a chemistry degree. Oh, you just had never heard of it? I figured it's like, is it regional or something? It might be something like that. Like, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, either way, right? Whether it's in one direction or the other, it works. It works.
Yeah, the bones and the big muscles. Yeah. And like sky's the limit on that. Like in theory, right? In theory, there's like a possibility of like hypertrophying your muscles to the extent where you can like cause yourself to be injured. But that's really hard.
Yes.
It's like really hard.
Yeah, I've known people to do it though. And that's when you run into situations like rhabdo, where you work out your muscles so hard that they actually can't repair themselves, and that causes a severe medical emergency. So such a thing is possible, but not likely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, like on the sociology angle of it all, because I know that my audience is pretty feminine. Because I'm a calligrapher for the most part, so doing the kind of crafty stuff, a fair number of women like to watch me. There's a common fear that a lot of women have that like if they do even a modest amount of weightlifting, they will like Hulk out, which is not true.
No,
and it's
I
actually
tell them, don't worry, you won't.
it requires genuine hard amounts of work to do that, even if you have a lot of testosterone. If you are not high in testosterone, it's extremely hard. Hello, Volkovsky. Not a lot. We're talking about health. But the like one of those things is actually kind of a value of and hello GF, hell yeah, it's GF. One of those things is kind of a value of the internet, right? Is that I can point to lean beef patty over on Instagram, and it's like that is what a woman looks like who is like not just working out a lot, but like really going crazy, right? Like
optimizing for it.
Really optimizing for it. Really putting in like the time and effort into the diet and like a workout regimen that's really designed to make her very muscular, and like she is not actually that hulked out. Like she is quite muscular.
Oh, not
but
at all. Yeah, she's incredibly muscular, but yeah,
it's not what people seem to be afraid of. And that requires like that's not something that she did by accident, right? Like that's the thing. Like it's not something, men don't do it by accident. So like
totally.
It is unlikely
about it today on my stream, which is like I think is also a very big unrealistic, just purely because of social media and enhancements like steroid use and stuff. There's a really big misunderstanding for what a natural body looks like when it's optimized. And what I always like to do is pull up pictures of bodybuilders from the 1920s before people were using steroids or was even really invented.
Yeah,
because you'll see these people, and they're like, they look normal. They look like normal, strong people you see every day.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that like a lot of the cut look is not like due to that. It requires like losing the water weight as well.
Right. And lighting and all of that. Yeah.
It requires a lot of special work. And it's it'll make you exaggeratedly jacked. And they see like 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger. And they think that that's like a thing that just kind of like happens. And like, it's not. It's just fucking not.
It's not.
It's just not.
It's very much not.
It's very much not. Entirely possible that for some of those body types, like getting like an Arnold Schwarzenegger or like a Dwayne Johnson might not even be physically possible for a lot of people. Like,
totally, yeah. Like some people don't even respond to steroids. Like that's a thing that can happen. You can be a non-responder, or non-significant responder to that stuff. So
that's scary.
It is.
In case people are wondering why I'm saying that's scary, it's because steroids are really, really good at treating certain illnesses.
Now, I don't know if corticosteroids have an overlap with like, because corticosteroids are kind of different, right? Significantly different. So I don't know if
See, I'm the
the
ignorant on this
same,
here, yeah.
but like, yeah, no, but I know that people like, there are people who will absolutely jump on like muscle enhancing steroids, right? And it doesn't do much for them. And they don't look like they lift regardless, where you still get all the side effects with almost no benefit at all. So that's like extra bad. I don't think people should do it anyway. But it's like, yeah, that's the worst of all worlds.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. That's like, and I was thinking that the overlap in chemistry was closer than it actually turns out it is. I do have a chemistry degree. I did not do biochemistry. I did environmental and analytical chemistry.
Well, you know what's funny?
Yeah.
I did see one rogue study. Now, this didn't mean anything, but I saw one rogue study about people testing like prednisone or some corticosteroid with weightlifting to see, and it like technically enhanced muscle building, but not because of the muscle building, probably because of recovery management. Like it was a weird mechanistic thing, but like it was a funny joke to look at that and be like, okay, maybe actually though.
Okay. That I can, yeah. That makes sense to me, right? Like recovery is like such an important part of, like you actually build the muscles during the recovery time.
Exactly.
Like which is probably actually a good note for us on the actual theme of the day, the thing about aging, which is one of the things that I notice a lot as I have aged is how much more slowly I recover. From just everything. From just absolutely everything. Well, not everything. From mental health problems, I recover faster. I've gotten better at that one. Yeah. But for like my physical recovery times are just like so much longer for everything. Like if I get a cut or a burn, it takes so much longer to heal than when I was younger. Hello, Sleeper Shark. And if I twist my ankle, it takes forever to recover. And same for like weightlifting. Like I just like, I have to, if I'm like in periods when I'm taking my lifting a little bit more seriously, which is again not my primary exercise. I do lift, but it's mostly for like pain management more than anything else.
Right.
And general health management and like metabolic fitness kind of stuff. That like the amount of time I need to take between even just sets, let alone between like heavy lifting days, has changed. From when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, it takes everything like takes longer. And this is again like part of the reason to I would say the most important part in all of this, more than like choosing the right exercise, is forming habits.
Definitely.
You know, it's one thing if you're somebody who's like trying to get like ultra jacked, if you're trying to get super duper strong, but for most of us who are just trying to like be generally healthy and in shape, like it's just about the habits. It's just about like, you know, this is Friday, so I do these exercises, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right, because at the top end, I think one thing to keep in mind, right, is like all the ultra performers, right? The people who are best at bodybuilding, best at powerlifting especially, the super, super high performance athletes tend to have like rough outcomes later in life because of the damage and intensity done early on. So powerlifters are a great example, right? Where you can absolutely lift weights and you can do the big lifts like bench, squat, and deadlift into old age. Absolutely. But for the people who are chasing the number, trying to get as big as possible, as strong as possible, that is still putting stress on everything. That's still putting stress on the joints. That's still putting stress on your frame, carrying around all that weight and stuff like that. And so like, yeah, powerlifters die early. You're generally at the high performance level, burning your lifespan in many cases to be an ultra performer. So oftentimes, like, we're talking longevity, like habits, moderate stuff is going to help you way more than ultra high performing stuff. Like, you can still do powerlifting and stuff like that, but let me tell you how many people I've met in the gym who are 50 and had a shoulder replacement who talk about benching 400 pounds when they were younger, right? It's like they weren't doing it the smartest way, and then they kept chasing it probably in an unhealthy way, and it just got a little too much. So there's good, reasonable, moderate levels of doing everything, but yeah, high performance can definitely be, in powerlifting especially, dangerous long term.
Momo, welcome in. You're fine. We started we started 2 hours early from my usual time. That is a brofu. That is a brofu. We remember this is vegan here. But yeah, I also, that was what you were. That's what I do remember you talking about, was like these questions that people have around like natty versus not natty. Natural versus enhanced. Is that the phrasing? Am I getting this correct?
Yeah, natty and enhanced, it will work, absolutely.
Yeah. And I do remember reading some articles, hello Youthless, from a couple of from a while ago about specifically The Rock, who is claiming that he is all natural and hitting new peaks in his 50s after a lifespan of already being at the upper end of performance. It's, probably setting some unrealistic expectations for people.
Yep, and that's the biggest problem is people who are clearly enhanced or were enhanced trying to claim they were natty. Never forget, Ronnie Coleman claims natty, which is the most insane thing ever. But like, no, it's just a lot of cornbread, he said. Just a lot of cornbread. But yeah, that's really tough for unrealistic expectations. A lot of people who are claiming natty and stuff like that, who definitely probably weren't, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rough series of claims, and it's hello angler. It's also kind of interesting to me coming from from my sociology standpoint on this, right? Like the apologies for getting onto like the sociology and like
no, I like
historical the history of it all. You will occasionally see people talking about this in terms of like military application. And the one I remember being particularly goofy was like they had a picture of a guy who was like an upper body power lifter. Like we're talking like the kind of guy who struggles to move his neck.
Yeah.
And this person was saying like, yeah, this is this is what people looked like who like conquered the world for thousands of years. And it's like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Roman soldiers did not look like that. Absolutely not. Mongol steppe nomads did not look like that. That is not true. That is not true. That is extremely untrue. And it's interesting, this conflation here, right? Because they're making a conflation that I think you will find very silly, which is they are looking at an aesthetic of strength that is affirming to our current notions of aesthetics around strength and power. And then saying that it is practical in a way, in a pre-modern fashion.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's interesting too, on top of that is, and I've always found this kind of like an interesting factoid, if you think about it, just because of access to nutrition, access to the knowledge about how to train optimally, access to rest and all those things in medicine, it's very likely that the strongest people to have ever exist right now. Yeah. And that people who are powerlifters, for example, are stronger than any person in their genetic history. Which is really cool in a way, because you can be like, I might be the strongest person in my entire family tree. Right? Yeah. But that's the reality, yeah.
Where did I hear that there was somebody who said, there was a power lifter who said, maybe I was talking with Nate about this? Oh, we got Nyano raid. We got raided by the cats.
Nyano.
Yeah. Nyanomancer. Shout out Nyanomancer. What was Nyanomancer up to? I say as if I wasn't literally on his stream. He was Kirbying.
Nice.
Hello Raiders. My name is Almantas. I am a former professor of sociology, a current VTuber, an old man who loves old things. I do a lot of calligraphy, but today I am joined by the one, the only, the Sclimbo.
Yo, what's up? It's me, Sclimbo.
Because I am old, and so Sclimbo has decided to coach me and discuss some of the finer points of how to not destroy your fucking back and knees.
Yeah.
You know, or in the case of the person you were just talking about, getting a shoulder replacement in your 50s.
Oh, that's like, there's so many. If you go to any gym and you talk to like the old dudes who are benching there and stuff, they'll all tell you a story about how they benched 10 million pounds when they were younger, and then they had to get a new shoulder. Every one of them.
Oh, that's dreadful. To the Raiders. If you need to raid and run, obviously, Nyanomancer, you know that I love you, buddy, and you probably already raided and ran because you know that implicitly. For the rest of the for Sogo Hebi, welcome in. For Dad Sold Shop, hello. But yeah, it's and if you need to raid and run, obviously, please feel free to do so. I don't deadlift anymore because I hurt my back. Oh my goodness, that makes me cringe. Yep. That makes me cringe so hard. I am pretty much body weight only, except for deadlifts. Because deadlifts are... I come from a family where everybody has back pain, all of the men.
Yep.
It's really endemic in my family. And the only thing any of us, out of like, I've got multiple brothers, I've got multiple uncles, my dad's still around. The only thing that any of us have found that's like reliable is deadlifts.
Oh yeah,
like,
totally.
Nothing else does.
It almost seems counterproductive to like somebody who doesn't know a lot about fitness and stuff like that. But yes, deadlifts absolutely with proper form, within a range that doesn't hurt, absolutely help back pain. And one of many exercises that do.
Yeah. And it's, I swear by the deadlift. The deadlift is incredible lift. Well, and Babinka, it seems counterintuitive, as you said, but my understanding, right? You know, we've got two people who actually know what they're talking about between Psyche and Sclimbo, is that it's a complex compound lift that uses basically every single muscle in your back.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing being that like when you build up those muscles in your back, they also help keep things kind of like in place, right? Like building the muscle will keep things from getting too out of sorts. Yeah.
Yep. And that's kind of like the nature of doing like, this is like my the biggest thing I have that's like close to an insight in terms of doing fitness is that a lot of the pain that you have is because the muscles holding your things in place are too weak. A lot of it's these tiny supporting muscles that you don't think about. It's not like your quads and your delts. It's these tiny muscles that I can't even think of the names of off the top of my head that are the ones that like keep your knees and your vertebrae and your shoulder from shifting around unexpectedly, which is how you get hurt. Right. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things like, you know, hip flexors, even the IT band can have like sciatic pain, you know, run down that and stuff like that. But yeah, there's everything in the posterior chain in that area gets worked by the deadlift and helps that situation because you basically want to be, especially as you go into old age, and especially with our current lifestyles where we're sitting so much and in the office so much, that is what contributes very often to back pain among many reasons. Of course, there are injuries and stuff like that, slip discs and all that. But putting yourself in positions that are challenging is a good way to, you know, train yourself to not get injured constantly doing normal things, you know?
Yes. Which actually hits on a point that I've always found really kind of interesting. I remember this being raised by someone who's like not at all like a doctor, like a blue collar worker guy, was making the point that if the only exercise you do is like you're lifting at your job, right? Like you work in like a warehouse or something, that's your exercise. You're actually extremely injury prone. Because 50% of what you're doing is an uncontrolled heaviest lift you've ever done.
Yeah, actually. And many people don't even know how to lift properly. So they'll constantly, you know, lift with their back, for example, like bending over with a rounded back, picking up heavy things for years. Construction, they'll just ruin the body because they don't teach you oftentimes how to lift properly because that's not their expertise. They just want you to move the big pipe.
Well, Babinka Bear, there's definitely the part about form that he's bringing up. Form is really important. I'm also bringing up that, like, when, like, a lot of the goal of lifting, a lot of the kind of structure of lifting in terms of how it fits in your life, is that you're choosing designated controlled periods where you are lifting way more weight than you normally need to, meaning that your muscles are then way stronger than they need to be for the rest of your time.
Right, they're prepared for a challenge, and so the rest of the life is easier.
Yeah, and so if you're not doing anything else, if 50% of the lifts you're doing are above average lifts, if 50% of the activity that you're doing for like 4 hours a day, you are like, because that's right, like mathematically, 50% of things are above average, right? Like just mathematically.
Yeah.
And if you don't have like take a designated time out of your day to lift like 5 times as much as you would normally at work, that means 50% of what you're doing at work, which is 4 hours of the day, you are basically doing like your heaviest lift. You're doing above average lifting. Technically 49%. Thank you, Polybius Nova. I appreciate that. I knew that the person who was pedantic enough to use a V as a U in classic Roman fashion would be pedantic enough to correct me on that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. You should know, I'm pitching myself to an individual chatter with, I paint a lot of Roman figurines and read a lot of Roman history. It's actually like a bit of a fixation of mine. Hello, Gravy Gator. Hello, Gravy Gator. I had to move solid blocks of formed polystyrene. It was the heaviest thing I'd ever tried lifting. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But
no,
Syken,
yeah.
I just want to say Syken is super right, like 100% at like sitting setups and stuff, and sitting being a major contributor to back pain. Not only sitting for long periods of time, but sitting incorrectly. And then there's also tons of other things, right? So like your bed, for example, a lot of people will look at the bed situation and realize, well, maybe you don't have a high quality bed. I know the verdict's kind of out on this, and some people say one way or the other, but I know that many people with back pain tend to find a harder surface or a harder bed to be beneficial, but it can depend. So
if I sleep on a water bed, which I don't think are very popular these days, I am in so much pain the next day.
Oh yeah, no, I don't sleep on soft beds. Hard surfaces only.
I am thinking about going harder than I'm currently on. I'm on a pretty thin mattress on the ground, and I could go harder.
And on the floor, I feel that.
one of the things that's kind of fun to me is I have settled on the only chair that I have been able to feel comfortable in, because I have no ass whatsoever. I am sub Hank Hill on this thing. Is a yoga ball.
Okay,
So I'm on a yoga ball right now. It's keeping my core engaged. And yesterday I spent all day on the train. I spent all day on the train or in waiting rooms for like 10 hours, and just immediately my lower back was killing me. Right, I woke up this morning and I was just like, like I haven't felt this bad in months. This is stuff that like you do have a fair amount of control over. Have a fair amount of control over.
Like I notice a lot. I'm not an ergonomics specialist in any sense, I would say, right? But I do notice that people tend to sit. Oftentimes they'll sit on their like shrimped almost on their tailbone. Like they're not sitting on the like lower butt / back of the hamstring, back of the thigh, but more so kind of shrimped on their tailbone and constantly, stressing that lower part of the spine versus being a little more upright and kind of popping that shit a little bit.
I mean, modern soft chairs just do that.
Yeah.
Like they just do that. That's like how they're really designed to be sat in, and it's something that drives me like a little bit nuts because it's like comfortable. It's like I feel like a trap. It feels like such a trap.
Yeah,
it's like
a trap. Yeah,
it's like comfortable for like 20 minutes, which is enough for you to think that it's comfortable, and then it starts like you start to accumulate. You start taking poison damage.
Yep. You take dots. You're like, ooh.
Oh yeah, the dead hang is cool. Dead hanging is cool. I need to.
Oh, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, I don't have a good setup for that in my current apartment. I don't have a place to hang up my pull-up bar. But yeah, I've become an evangelist for just like no back, just no back, just sit, just sit upright, count on, just trust nobody, trust no spine support but your own spine.
A couple exercises that are also really, really good for the back if you're doing deadlifting but you want another accessory because it doesn't fit in your plan, or you just don't like deadlifting. These are like really, really good. Is look up into back hyperextension or like back extension, or the reverse hyper, which are both movements basically where you're bent over at the waist and then kind of squeezing your glutes to upright yourself. In one case, the weight is more towards your legs and you're swinging your legs up. In one case, it's your glutes contracting and bringing your upper body up that usually has a weight with it. So both of those are incredible. Reverse hyper and the back extension are also really, really good.
Okay, hold on. Was the back extension, what was the other one?
Reverse hyper, it should be called. West Side Barbell, I believe, were the guys who invented it. The villains of the lifting world.
Villains of the lifting world. Why is that brickin' so perfect? Because it's a brofu. It's the brofu,
yeah.
It's the brofu. It's the brofu. God, I wish I could.
Quick story, Almantas.
Yeah.
Just because this is fun lore. So West Side Barbell is like actually an evil, like the evil lifting stable. If you were to talk about lifting in the WWE sense, they were a group of invite-only lifters at this one gym that all took like massive amounts of steroids, went incredibly hard. They were swearing all the time, super mean, but it was like a family thing, and they invented like new machines and methods of lifting that were actually really good, but they were villains. Like they were the evil faction.
It's fun to have a heel, right? It's fun to have a heel.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This is the problem with me and you, is like neither of us can do heel turns at all. Like we're both terrible at it. No. We neither of us have that with us. But the that is kind of funny that like lifting even had that. Like it's like I kind of feel like to a certain extent lifting is like the most pure-hearted of sports you can really do. It's there's very little room for finesse, which means that there's very little room to really get a lot done that's particularly underhanded. Like the numbers are the numbers. There's not no room. There's not no room. Obviously, there's always room to cheat. There's always room to cheat, but there's not a lot of room for bad sportsmanship. And
right, it's more that they were like they acted like, if we're talking like a shonen anime, right?
Yeah,
like they're acting like a villain faction where they're just like all about pure performance. They're angry all the time. They're screaming, but they're a family. They're like a gang almost, right? Yeah. But it's a dangerous place where the strongest lifts happen. The most dangerous lifts you've ever seen, right? Weird machines, weird tech, run by like a cult of personality almost. Like
yeah, I know. It's like I said, it's just like funny for that to happen in like powerlifting.
Yeah,
it's just like almost everybody else in powerlifting is just like, what is the maximum my body can do?
Right.
And like it's like sharing like tips on like how to maximize their performance safely. It's like all that I ever see. There's I've never like really seen like trash talk in it.
Oh yeah.
It's not like, you know, like basketball or soccer where like I see the people being like real dicks like all the time.
Oh yeah.
It's genuinely kind of interesting, right? It's again, there's not nothing to it. There's not nothing to it, and this has all reminded me that there's actually a really distressing article that we don't need to get into about bodybuilders from the Baffler.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's I mean, I am comfortable getting into some nasty stuff on this channel because I'm a history guy, so it's like you know, some really rough stuff tends to come up on here. I don't know if you are up for hearing something pretty rough.
What was it about? Just
it was about female bodybuilders.
Get into it, because it
was about how do female bodybuilders afford to work as bodybuilders.
Oh yeah, I'd probably veto that and keep it on topic. But I'd talk with you about that another time for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting article, but it's a rough one. They just try to sell you pseudoscience brochures. Hello, Floronari. They try to sell you pseudoscience brochures. They try to sell you dietary supplements. That's where the money's at. The money's at dietary supplements. Which is like mildly infuriating to me because like, why is the dietary supplement like the thing? And it's because they're less regulated than other things that you can put in your body than food or actual drugs. It's like it's a less, I wouldn't say less legal zone, but it's a less regulated zone, and that's not. You mean not regulated, at all? I am being
claims on supplements.
I am being careful with my language. I am being careful with my language here because well, for a number of reasons, not least of which is I think understating things is funnier than overstating things. But the I mean, FT exclusion is an entirely different nightmare, Belsor. It is, but yeah, that's where these guys are like really selling their money. And that's why they have to sell you on the fantasy of being natural, which is why me and Sclimbo are mad about the people who are claiming to be natural and aren't, is because even if they're not the ones selling you unhealthy supplements, they are giving cover to the people who are.
Yes. And even then, what you're running into a lot, which is also tough, is, and this is a much more, in terms of scope, minor, because this is like creator specific, but it propagates itself, right? Because if there are people on platforms who are not natural, claiming that they're natural, and they're getting the most attention because their physiques are so superhuman, well, now a new influencer who might want to be honest goes on the platform, and their livelihood is now tied to that, but they can't look like that unless they take themselves. So now it's like their money on lifestyle on the line. Do I have to take this to look good enough for people to listen to me or not? Because everyone's listening to the biggest people.
Oh, so. from like I would love to get into the content creatorness of this all. Like, we've got ads in like 10 minutes. I might run them early for like to get the good break point on this conversation. But that's actually a really fascinating topic that I really didn't think about when we started this, and I really should have. The question of like, the influencerness of it all, right? The influencer economics of it all, because your credibility in this world is based on your body.
Exactly.
That is fundamentally your currency in a really deep way. It's you are engaged in the flesh trade in a way that the actual flesh trade even isn't. And so like if people are lying about how they got their physiques, like you said, the pipeline is you have a particular physique, and then you tell people what you did to get that physique. And if people are lying about how they got that physique, it's just catastrophic for everyone else down the pipeline.
Yeah, exactly. Super catastrophic. And, it also not only, hides good information, but also makes it so that people feel like they might be forced to take it themselves to even be taken seriously. Because, the people who know the most about this sort of thing are going to be the people who actually run these studies, right? They're going to be the people who design, who run the studies, who have doctorates on this thing. And those oftentimes are not the most jacked people in the world, right? The most jacked person that might not be the smartest in terms of muscle building.
I mean, why say what you will about how hard it is to work in the lab. Pipettes don't weigh very much.
Yeah, true.
Like I have people. A magnetic sector mass spectrometer is extremely heavy. You're not actually picking it up very often. That is you are. And I mean, like this is actually something that's like a little bit interesting, I guess, about the economics of it all. Right? Is that like there's a proof is in the pudding element to being a bodybuilding influencer that may not be justified, right? Like, as you point out, it may not actually be justified. Like the person who understands the most about why a person got so jacked might not be the person themselves.
Exactly. And there are some people who do it all. Like there are some people who I always feel like this is like not the gold standard, but it's like pretty cool when there's the people who run the studies who also competed and who also like are licensed, right? So they've all three. They've done it, they've studied it, and they've gotten an education. That's pretty good. like a 50s super scientist on TV, like a Johnny people
Quest
like
character.
Henselman, yeah, Lee Norton.
And that's pretty remarkable. There's just like there's nothing about the nature of understanding biology that means that like somebody with Lou Gehrig's disease couldn't be the most knowledgeable person on the planet, and they're not going to be particularly strong, right? Like they're not, because they have Lou Gehrig's disease. Like they're just they won't. But it's but like they might actually be the most knowledgeable. They might actually know the most about fitness. But for going into the influencer economy, you really are trusting that a person's credentials are underneath their skin, right? Are what you can see on the screen. You are not counting on it being like how many peer-reviewed papers do they have? Right? It's
right. And I think that's a better way to look at things. Like, I think it's really, that's why I'm always talking about like meta-analysis and stuff like that, and going to PubMed and looking at nutrition and fitness studies, because we do have enough information there to say pretty objectively, it's hard to say objectively, but confidently, I guess I would say, where you'll look at something and be like, okay, yeah, we have 50 studies on this amount in meta-analysis, and they've determined that there is a similar conclusion among all of them. And so this is probably something that works. And that generally to me is a better gold standard than a big person telling me something or any individual telling me something, right?
And it's really, this one's really interesting to me. Like, we can get to like a really interesting side on here, is that like, even then there's still fraud that you have to worry about.
Oh yeah.
I really love the YouTube channel Bobby Broccoli. I don't know if you're familiar with this guy. He's not particularly
No, I'm
weightlifting.
not.
He hasn't done anything like particularly specific to your particular interest, but Bobby Broccoli does he does YouTube video essays on scientific scandals.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah yeah, bodega knows.
Bodega.
Bodega, we love bodega around here. Bodega the rat, fellow New Yorker bodega rat. Yeah, hello mail and mail. Yes mail on double mail on stream, double fisting mail on stream. So he does these, he talks about these scandals where and hello Smolchy, like there was a guy named Arthur Schoen who was just a shoo-in for the physics Nobel Prize. It was like so confident that this guy was going to be the physics Nobel Prize winner. And then while he was still in consideration for the Nobel Prize, it turns out that he had fabricated everything.
Oh.
Like decades of fabricated data. And the worst part is that it wasn't particularly malicious. What it was that he was just so non-confrontational that he would just like ask other scientists, like, okay, what information would convince you that I'm right?
And then he just doctored it.
Yeah, and they just doctored it. All
right.
There was a, like, South Korea was like leapfrogged everybody else on cloning technology. And everybody was like losing their minds, and the answer to how they did that was they just lied about the data.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. In the particular case of the Korean cloning thing, it was like, the real question was like, you get like non-viable, you get like embryos, right? You get a bunch of embryos, and then you have to like cultivate those embryos up to being a fully viable organism. And so the question is like, how many embryos do you need to get up to a fully viable organism? Because that's what's your failure rate, was where they had the real innovation. And these guys were claiming failure rates of like, they were like 1/10 what other people were getting. And he was claiming, the guy who was doing it was claiming it was because Koreans are just more precise.
Okay, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just better.
Yeah. Right. He was basically like, I don't know if you've ever used Korean chopsticks, but Korean chopsticks are metal. So they're actually considerably more challenging to use than wooden chopsticks. And he was claiming like, yeah, it's like, this is like, we've learned these like higher levels of dexterity. So like my lab techs are just better at pulling out the good embryos from the less good embryos, and like, and that's how we do it. And he was just
that's
lying about how many embryos.
Gamer surgeons.
Yeah, and he was just lying about how many embryos they had.
Yeah, cool.
He was just lying about how many. Like he was just lying about the denominator in the ratio. Yeah, we can clone better because of our chopsticks. It's also a pretty goofy argument. Yes, that is also a goofy argument.
Well, it's also studies-wise very difficult. Nutrition in particular is so difficult to study because it becomes a moral question, right? You can't lock someone in a metabolic ward and give them a diet for a year and see how it goes. You have to often rely on self-reported stuff, which is often very inaccurate, and also trying to control for outside variables. So say you're studying something like, oh, how bad is artificial sweeteners for you? Is it bad at all? But then it turns out that the group that overconsumes artificial sweeteners also happens to have a higher body fat percentage, or also happens to smoke more or get less exercise. Like, it's so hard to control for factors when it comes to nutrition studies.
Yeah, nutrition's a nightmare. We are about to go into ads. I'll just make sure that I finish off with a thought that was just pointing out that science in general is all really contingent on a good faith. And so even a small number of bad actors, even among the highest level of science, can cause a lot of damage to the entire
totally
field.
yeah.
It's not just the influencers. However, it is also a much fucking better set of incentives than for influencers.
Yep. Big money number, yay!
Big money number,
19,
yay!
I like big money number.
I'm only accountable to my fans, yay! All right, we are going to be back in a few minutes. Everybody get up, get some water, use the bathroom, because that's what me and Sclimbo are going to do. We'll be back soon.
Yep.
Hello, we're back.
Yo.
Yeah, no, superconductive. Yeah, the superconductivity scandals was the Schoen scandal. That was the big Schoen scandal. And yes, that was actually what I was remembering was you were talking like the ethics of studying nutrition is like it's like a real challenge. Is really hello sleepless sissy. That's a real challenge and the thing is like nutrition is not just a matter of ethics. There's also like a politics angle to it. Like
totally,
like sociopolitics.
Huge one.
Yeah.
Well, that comes into play too with all of our like the dietary recommendations that governments will give out and stuff like that, right? Like that is not going to be like anything an entirely science-based approach. It's often going to be political as well there. So
yeah, it's highly non-neutral, and this is not like new. This is not new. This is like one of those things I really kind of got to emphasize to people is that like I am sure that most people here have heard of, the Bible. And the Bible has a bunch of dietary restrictions in it. And those dietary restrictions are political. Those dietary restrictions are about establishing, ranking and importance and differentiation and distinction and in-groups and out-groups between different groups of people. That's a lot of what those are doing there. And this is just true of food. In general, Polybius keeps on reminding me, to make Rome references, and one of the traditional punishments in the Roman military was barley rations. Was being issued barley rations as opposed to wheat rations, which is not just a matter of the fact that barley has less protein and was considered less tasty, but that barley was the preferred fodder for horses in the Romans. And so it was a humiliation for the soldiers who were given that. It was a social humiliation to feed them barley.
Yep.
And like one of the big ones is beef. I think that most people have caught on to this by now, but there's a reason why it's the Bricken rather than the Brief. Is that Sclimbo here knows his nutrition science and knows that chicken is a much more nutritious meat than beef. Beef is...
It's a little complicated because, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not an anti of beef by any means, but there is absolutely optimization to say that poultry in general can be safer to consume in like the amounts that I do regularly than a red meat would, for example.
But beef is and always has been, right? Like going back to when beef was domesticated from aurochs, has always been a prestige good. Our oldest historical records, it is an aristocrat's food, because cows are so much more. They have so much stronger flavor than pork and chicken, but also because they're so much harder to raise. They are always hard. They're harder to raise in almost every environment on the planet. There's not all of them, but in almost every environment. Basically, arid environments are pretty good for cows, but even then, sheep are really good in arid environments. So like whatever. And yes, Polybius is right to point out, like there's tiers to sacrificial animals, and so this has always been political, and you can see this all over the world. One of the ones that often surprises people is that in the norms around vegetarianism versus meat eating are reversed in India. It's a left wing to eat meat and it's a right wing to be vegetarian. Right? Because traditional Hinduism
I see why. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Traditional Hinduism is vegetarian. And particularly like Bengali scholars, which were almost all fucking communists. Bengal is one of the two big left-wing centers in India, that and Kerala. Bengali scholars were like, I'm rejecting my Hinduism and embracing eating meat as like a sign of protest against the traditional values of my culture.
I see.
And like
okay.
my modernity and my enlightenment. Whereas in Western cultures, I've been vegan and vegetarian for years. I'm not making that as a nutrition decision. I am doing that for emotional and political reasons. And it's like this has always been the case. This has always been the case. This is not a modern phenomenon. This is a output of what a community is. And it's always been this case that nutrition is going to be this political artifice, and it gets really sharp when you want to start doing nutrition studies in a country like the United States, because we've made certain decisions about what we consider to be proper American food.
Oh yeah.
We have made certain decisions about those. And the real case you can see in this is look at what the agricultural subsidies are for. Agricultural subsidies are usually targeted at specific food items. They are not targeted at like the general food product. They're targeted at specific food items. So we have politically decided that corn is a better crop than rice. and other countries make a different
right.
decision, right? Like other countries make a different decision.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. This is actually one of the things, if you ever take econ, it's like one of the econ like first week or two things that they'll talk about is price fixing. That most countries have price fixing. Most countries actually do have price fixing, and the way that you fix a price, that's to say the way that you set a price minimum on a product, the only way you can actually do that is the government has to buy up everything that sells below market value. And so this is how you have, like, the United States as a giant mountain full of cheese.
Right. The secret cheese stores,
the secret
right?
Cheese.
Of course,
the government, the secret cheese, the secret cheese vault, and Italy has giant swimming pools full of wine.
Nice.
Yeah, France has a similar thing with cheese as well. These are choices that we're making about what types of food are like politically necessary. Right, we're choosing these as like politically necessary food items, which means that any science around them becomes challenging to do.
Oh, totally. And that's also like all to say, right? You know, in summation of that, meaning that anytime a government's generally giving out a dietary recommendation, it's not based optimally on what's good for the human body. It's based optimally on what's good for the country very often.
Yeah. Which is just oh my goodness, yeah. You like really hit like the huge political like lightning rod there of like, this is not something that's as big of a deal in the 21st century because the political philosophies that really embraced it much more strongly died. Right. In some cases extremely violently, but it was definitely a thing in a lot of the 19th and early 20th century of, in order for our country to be healthy, that means we need our people to look a certain way. And so we need to create our own specific like bodybuilding and exercise clubs, because the sickness facing us as a culture is a sickness that is embodied in the way that our people physically interact with the world. Which,
yep, fitness can be used for evil.
Fitness can be used for evil. In case anybody is missing it, the main country I'm referencing here is Nazi Germany. Like that's the most famous one. But the Soviet Union also had a similar thing of like creating the new Soviet man.
Right.
And the United States did not entirely lack this, right? Like, you know, very famously, Teddy Roosevelt was like Teddy Roosevelt, big advocate of like, the most important thing for our culture is to get young people out hiking and enjoying nature and physically fit and all this stuff. And the thing is, like, I'm not like entirely
videos.
Yeah,
not entirely wrong, but take a look at videos from like the 1950s high school fitness classes in the 50s, and it's like, by comparison, it's like, oh wow, we can't do any of that. Oh wow.
Yeah. Also, hold on, I missed a comment from I was just saying some the thing where they were screwing people around. Yeah, the German fencing scene. Yep. But yeah, it's the like what you look like is this thing that's, I think I am kind of grateful that, like, to the extent that I've encountered fitness influencing and fitness culture, the emphasis has primarily been on getting people to do what they can.
Yep.
And it's something that I do appreciate, that like there's a fear that people have that like, oh, the Jack Gym bros are going to make fun of me for being fat at the gym. And then like I will see the workout videos from these Jack Gym bros and they'll be like, if you can only do a push-up, like one push-up with your knees still on the ground, do that, right? If you can only do wall push-ups, do that. Like, the important part is not that you are some certain objective level of strong or have a certain particular appearance. It's that you are doing more than you did before.
Exactly. And there's also like a almost philosophical pursuit in it too, an angle where, and this is something I'm kind of interested in, but you know, when you give people the agency to, and you help them have the agency to kind of control their own body and see their limits, they tend to gain confidence and tend to also gain like an understanding that they have the power to change things. And I think that's generally a good thing for people to have. So
yeah. And it's and it actually gets us to something that like I hadn't talked about at all, which is like the mental health of it all.
Yeah.
That's it's not just also hello Daya. Good to see you here, buddy.
Hey Daya.
the it is one of those things that people keep on expressing as like a thing of rage, of like frustration. I'm sure that you don't feel this way. This frustration that like it does turn out that just like doing even just some light exercise makes you mentally feel better.
Yep.
like it's not even like that intense. And the way it kind of feels like to me is that when I run or lift, I can feel the evil leaving my body.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it's Vexing Cat. It's Vexing Cat. Heck yeah.
Hey, Vexing.
And I'm Sock. Vexing Cat is a reading streamer. She is lovely. But yes, it is you can like feel the evil leaving your body. And like the reason why I got into running, was because of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
That like I was having a lot more anxiety than I was used to dealing with, and it was just simply too goddamn frustrating to figure out what medication to get on. It was just too annoying. So I did Couch to 5K.
Yeah.
I did Couch to 5K, and it was like power cycling my brain. It was like giving
Totally.
a whole, yeah. Like my brain shuts down.
Something else to worry about.
Yeah, well, my brain just shuts down, and like that's the thing about anxiety, is that like you can't stop thinking. So like having a way to stop thinking for half an hour was incredibly powerful, and made everything feel better. And a good lift is I can feel, it's like the poison gets purged from my muscles.
And I want to take that point too and run with it a little bit, just to bring it back to the whole idea of like the aging part of things, because there's still a lot to talk about there that I want to get into, like functionally. But the one thing I will say related to that is that it's very important, I think, for anybody who does want to be healthy going into old age, that they stop thinking about lifting and fitness as something you're doing for a bit of time and make it part of your lifestyle for the long term. Like integrating it into this is part of me. This is something I'm doing forever. This is not just like I'm just going to lift really hard for 3 months to get in good shape. No, it's like something sustainable that should be over a lifetime.
It genuinely never occurred to me that somebody would just be like, "Oh, I'm just going to lift for 3 months." Like it
happens all the time.
Wow.
Right? People are just like, "Oh, I'm just going to lose, I'm going to lose 50 pounds." Okay, and then what? Like, do you just stop after that? Like, a lot of people they don't think ahead to think like, will I have another goal after that? Will I go do something else? Will I keep doing it? They'll just say, I'm trying for this one goal, which is good to have a goal. But oftentimes what that'll lead to is they get to the goal and don't know what to do. And then they'll relapse. And it's like, and a lot of people rush to it too, right? They do really aggressive programs, really aggressive cuts, really aggressive gains in some cases, just to get there faster. But it's like, you have your whole life. Calm down.
You are reminding me that I did a big weight loss a couple of years ago, and I've gained about half of it back.
It's very common.
Very common. I don't feel too bad about it, because it means that I'm nearly overweight now, as opposed to very overweight or at one point underweight. Do
you want to know? The sad reality is that I believe, statistically speaking, about somewhere like 92 or 93% of people do end up gaining weight back after they lose a lot of weight. Yeah, but that is often mitigated and changed by the people who lose it slower and more sustainably tend to have better outcomes.
This is, I did go with a relatively even curve on my weight loss plan. I think that's part of the reason why I didn't gain back all of the weight. Right. I just gained back about half of it. But it's, that's one of those things that does come up a lot, is that like the majority of people who do weight loss do not keep the weight off. And there's varying interpretations of what that means, right? There's varying interpretations of what that means. And one interpretation that I am not endorsing, I am describing, one interpretation of that is that you can't actually lose weight in a durable fashion. That's just what the nature of losing weight is that only a select group of people get to actually keep off the weight, and the average person just doesn't. Another interpretation that rings more emotionally true to me, I don't have any science to back up either side on this is why I'm just describing, is that we might not be doing good weight loss programs on the whole. A million Ozempics, baby.
I definitely have some feelings on Ozempic. That's a good topic to discuss. I talked a little earlier, but to your point about that, finish what you were saying.
I'm just saying, like, I don't actually know myself because I have not really studied it particularly in depth. I have the experience of being one of the people who did keep off a fairly decent amount of weight. Hello, Patricio. I understand what I did and why it worked and why I gained back the weight that I did gain back. And I can think that if I had done things differently, I wouldn't have gained back any weight, but I also know that that probably wouldn't have actually been the best idea. And the it's and there's also a lot of complexity. Atsufir, thank you for the follow. That's one of your folks, right?
Yeah, that's my talent manager. Hi, Atu.
Yeah. Welcome in, Atu. That it's there's a lot of questions about like who and not who. Like, what is that weight loss doing for you as well? I have a lot more thoughts about that because that's a very sociological question, much more so than it's even a health question. It's a very sociological and political question. But yes, there's a question of like, are the weight loss plans that people are following good weight loss plans? Are they wise weight loss plans? Are they integrated into people's lifestyle?
Yeah, and that's the huge one is like, I think so much of that, right? I mean, if you take it in isolation, of course, theoretically, someone can lose weight, keep it off forever, right? That's purely a matter of, I could know that I need to eat this many calories and do that. But the environment is such a huge impact, right? So a good example is, I always like to use myself as like an N of one study data point type deal, right? Where I'll say, okay, here's a good example, right? I am somebody who, I was a bigger Sclimbo in the past. I lost a lot of weight. So when I first got into fitness, I lost about 60 or 70 pounds. And I generally kept that off for a very, very long time. I, of course, gained a lot of muscle and gained weight back, but it was mostly muscle. I'm nowhere, near where I was. But things are thrown in your path that change that equation. So a good example being, I've backpacked in Japan. And I backpacked in Japan for 4 months. During that 4-month period of time in Japan, I lost 25 pounds without trying. I never even cared about what I was eating. I never looked at calories. I ate whatever I wanted. I lost 25 pounds, right? Just by the infrastructure, walking, because it was based on, walking and cycling based society, because the food options were better available. But then take in comparison, in the US, where you can lose all that weight, but then your friends will constantly be inviting you out to eat if you live in an environment where your friends are around all the time and you have to drive everywhere. There's no biking infrastructure. Like, there's so many factors that can just make it more difficult for you to lose weight that matter a lot. So there are situations, I would say, that people are in where it is unrealistic. I would say, like, the uphill battle they have to fight is very much tiered against them to try and keep the weight off, is how I would phrase it.
Hello, Juno. So I will say for myself, my weight loss plan was very simple, which was before I actually went on the weight loss journey. The first step of the journey was, in very traditional Almantas fashion, preparing and spreadsheet. I bought a food scale and I I measured everything before I ate it, and I wrote it all down in a spreadsheet, and I did that for weeks. And I looked up how many calories per gram were in everything that I was eating, and I wrote it down, and I totaled it all up, and I looked at how much I was eating. And then I did calculations on how much I could cut from that. And so it was mostly about keeping those things in writing. And it was also, this sounds really insane because it like, one of those things that probably people I think people here, my regulars have heard this, but I know there's some new people here. I have really severe ADHD and I am not medicated at all for it. I am not a medication candidate because I have extremely, extremely bad insomnia. And the specific words they said was, we are not going to prescribe amphetamines to somebody who regularly stays up for 48 hours by accident. which I think is very fair. I think that's very fair.
Yeah, it's pretty fair.
So I only get things done in my life by being very organized. If I do not write things down and like keep a calendar and stuff like that, I am screwed. Like I need to be organized, or else I can't get any of my goals done. So I wrote down everything, and I thought about the reason why having all this data was so helpful. One of the big reasons why this was also helpful, and the fact that just like it made it possible for me to think about it, was it allowed me to identify places where there was a ton of calories that were not particularly satiating and not even particularly enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like people say like, oh, it's about like suffering and enjoyment. It's like, it turns out that for myself, right? This is a personal decision that I made. The amount of joy I get out of frying foods versus roasting foods is not equal to the calories.
Oh, totally. Yeah. You can get like, you can cut. I always say like something will taste 90% as good if you substitute things and get about half the calories. Like you can make something 90% as good as the full fat version with like half the calories if you know what you're doing.
It's, yeah, my cooking changed to being a lot more, I cooked with a lot more like lemon juice in particular, because lemon juice has basically no calories, but does have quite a bit of flavor and can enhance a lot of other flavors. My cooking just in general became less fatty and more acidic and high notes, which I actually love on balance. Like, but yeah, like vinegar and most of your spices that you cook with, no calories. Lemon juice, nothing. It's that cooking oil was what was killing me.
Oh, and cooking oil kills. The thing is, that's like number one.
That's a big
cooking
one.
oil. People don't realize like 1 tablespoon is like 120 calories, right? That's like half a candy bar.
Yeah,
and
it's like twice the calories. It's like twice as much as sugar. It's so much. It's
yeah. So you can always like, I know so many people who I've trained over the years and who I've seen who they're eating so close to their maintenance calories already that all they have to do is switch to a sugar-free soda and like cut out half the oil they use in their cooking, and they drop like 70 pounds and stay there forever. Right?
Yeah.
It's like they were so close.
That's basically what it was. That's basically what it was. It was like, it turns out like for all of that complexity, it actually just really kind of boiled down to like replacing my caffeine-free Cokes with diet root beer.
Yep.
And then cutting the cooking oil by a lot. And it wasn't like as necessary, but it did make everything like a little bit easier to bias my diet towards rice over like wheat. Like that was... Hello, Kayakuma. Hello. Speaking of the root bear, Kayakuma. Hello, Kayakuma. It was funny to have that next to Kayakuma. Yeah, like going over to more roasting and baking as opposed to, but yeah, like rice-based dishes were just like more satiating for the amount of calories, and I don't like bread that much more than I like rice. I do, but not by like a large enough margin. Like,
not enough for it to matter. Yeah.
Yeah, not enough for me to like lose my mind over it. And yeah, this is the part of the environmental factor that was murderous for me, because I've been a chunky guy for pretty much my entire life. Like, you know, getting for most of my life, I was like, I mean, some people here have seen me in real life, because I was at Off-Kai. I was, for most of my life, about 50 pounds up from where I was at Off-Kai. So pretty big guy, and unhealthy, according to the doctors, like, which is very annoying, very fucking annoying. I'm going to be clear here. It's really obnoxious. That like to go to the doctors for it is like obviously like an infection, and they're like, you should lose weight. And it's like, no, man.
Yeah, they'll always hit you with it no matter what.
I remember having a fungal infection, and like 3 different doctors in a row were like, you just need to lose weight. And then like I had like one doctor who was like, oh, you need an antifungal cream.
Yeah, you have fungus on you. Like, come on.
like, come on. It's just like so obnoxious. Legitimately,
There are problems real quick. There are problems on the other end too. I've actually run into a couple times where I would have to go to the doctors and they would try to measure my blood pressure using the regular cuff. And they'd be like, "That's weird," and I'm like, "No, you have to use the obese cuff. Like the arm was too big for."
Of course, yeah. They didn't think through that. Like the obese cuff is just like up for a size. It's that's like,
it's like it won't work with that.
Yeah, no, that's pretty funny. That's pretty goofy. Yeah, I have wondered how much of the impact on life expectancy from being overweight is from like doctors just like not believing that you're actually sick when you're fat, which is really frustrating, but not really what we're here to discuss. But that was kind of like my whole weight loss plan, and it's the environmental factor that really slowed me down on weight loss when I was younger, that really stopped me when I was younger, was that whenever I would try to cut calories, it would slow me down cognitively.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It would cause cognitive slowdown, which makes sense because you have less calories to cognate with. Which is a huge problem when your whole life is set up around you becoming a professor.
Right.
like my whole life was set up around that from a pretty young age. And so that was just an unacceptable casualty. Right? That was like doing worse on standardized exams was just a completely unacceptable casualty.
Right,
So I
can't have it.
Couldn't have it. It's just absolutely being told he was sick because of his weight, but turns out he had Lyme disease. Yeah, that's
was that me? Was that me when I was a child?
Yeah, did you know Sclimbo? Did you know little Slimbet? Did you know little
Sclimbo has Lyme disease 3 times?
Yeah. Oh, 3 times?
3 times.
3 times. Holy crap. Thank you for reminding me to keep tucking my pants into my socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, and it's this was again my thing, was like, yeah, there was the real bad trigger food in particular for me was actually potato chips. It was not sweets, it was potato chips.
Yep.
I had to just like get those out of the house eventually. I just had to be like, I cannot own potato chips. I will eat so many potato chips.
A lot of things.
Yeah,
that's me with like sugar in general. I definitely like do like sugar things, and I kind of can't have them in the house. Like chocolate, I just kind of go. I'll like have a bar here and there, but I have to go out and get it, and it has to be like while I'm out. Like I can't bring home any amount of it, or I'll just be like, what'll happen is I'll get into your mind tricks you with everything, right? So I'll get into those trick like phases of like, oh well, now that's home, it's bad for me, and I shouldn't eat it, so I need to get rid of it all by eating it all right now.
Oh
right?
my goodness,
like
that's a horrible mental loop. That's a really bad one.
Yep.
That's a really nasty one.
Evil mental loop.
Evil one. Yeah, and it's not just about like removing things. That tends to be people's perception. For me, the way that I dealt with the potato chip thing was popcorn.
Yeah.
Popcorn's
like, so good.
It hit the same spot for me, but was much more filling per calorie. And I also didn't do microwave or pre-made. I would do stovetop, which tastes so much better. It's so much fucking better. It's easy. It's so much better. I am baffled by people liking the microwave popcorn at this point, because it's like, it's not even easier, and it burns all the fucking time, and it tastes nasty.
It does burn all the time.
Just do it on the stove. Just do it the stovetop style. And like the added friction, right? The added friction of I have to weigh it out and then cook it really slowed me down on just like burning through like 5,000 calories of potato equivalent,
exactly.
Potato chip equivalent in an afternoon. So it was. This is part of what I mean by like habits, right? Is like, think about what you actually do. Think about where the worst habits are, and think about how to change those.
And replacement for over removal, I think, is a really good thing, because nothing is. Someone said it earlier, and I agree completely. And it's what I talk about a lot, which is like, you don't need to get rid of almost anything that you enjoy. You don't need to say you can't ever have it again, it's going to kill you. That's not true. Anything kind of fine in moderation, unless it's literally poison. Yeah. So you can always enjoy a slice of cake or a candy bar or something that's not good for you, just not for every day half your calories,
Yeah. And I mean, this kind of like reveals that I'm a person who like kind of revels in my own discipline and my own like working through discipline. That like, I don't actually like having like my favorite foods every day. I don't think it's actually like,
they're not
fun.
special.
Yeah, it's just like not fun. It's like my actual favorite food is mangoes.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have mangoes.
You could have that every day, though. That
I could.
That's totally great.
Yeah, from like a health perspective, would be totally fine. The reason why, there's a couple reasons why I don't have them every day. One of which is just like the way they ripen makes that obnoxious. Like their ripening pattern makes that really annoying. But it's I prefer to have mangoes like once every week or two, because then like I am not acculturated to the taste. I'm not like numb to how good the mangoes are.
Right. It hits different.
It hits different. It hits different when something that like I am doing like very intentionally. Whereas like bananas I think are fine. I eat 2 to 4 bananas pretty much every day. They're not my favorite. They just make really good smoothies. And they're all good. All right, Syken, have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. It was
have a good one, Syken.
Really
Thanks for coming by. Yeah. I wanted to talk about Ozempic with you. I was excited for that.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't actually have feelings on Ozempic. I don't actually have real feelings on it.
Like none at all?
Not strong ones. My understanding is that Ozempic is a new medication that I actually don't understand. Does it suppress appetite, or does it suppress absorption?
It suppresses appetite. So basically, when you take it, you're not hungry anymore. And then, of course, that leads to undereating and weight loss. It's just the general mechanism.
Yeah, I did understand it was originally a diabetes medication. I did get that. And that's about what I understand about it. I know some people are going around heralding it as a complete miracle drug that like should be in the water levels. My knowledge of medical history and anthropology is that pretty much every appetite suppressant drug is has really nasty side effects.
It's a complicated topic. I kind of like to think of it. I'm not actually super hard stance one way or the other. I just say with caveats, where it's like, I think it can be a tool in the toolbox sometimes. Like, obviously, there are some side effects. It has like a label for suicidal ideation, among other things. But that aside, because some people, but not everyone's going to have that effect, right? That's like a minor amount of the population will have an effect like that. But the thing that I don't want to say don't like about it, but I'll put you in an example where I think it can be very helpful, right? Say somebody is severely medically obese, right? They're dangerous levels of their organs are close to shutting down, and they are very medically obese. Regardless of the side effects, it is probably more healthy if you were to weigh the ratios and risks to be on Ozempic and lose that weight than not lose that weight because you are incapable of getting on a diet and staying on it and getting enough exercise at that size, basically. Right. So there are times where it's so it'd be medically beneficial to lose the weight as fast as possible, even if it's not the healthiest thing in the world, to save your life, basically. Right. Versus trying to fight the natural way, which is harder, almost objectively. That being said, what is sketchy is when people are kind of just jumping on it. who don't really have that, like, you know, they might be slightly overweight or something like that. And the problem I have with it is it does kind of act like a cheat code because it will suppress your hunger, right? So you won't be hungry anymore, so you'll undereat. But you didn't learn nutrition, you didn't learn portion control. And so when you go off of it, you're probably just going to gain the weight back because your hunger is going to come back. Or you have to be on it your whole life. So it's like it's kind of like a monkey paw almost. Like it's a a tool that it's in the toolbox. It's there for you, but if you don't learn like the background knowledge on how to mitigate the effects afterwards, you'll probably just end up right where you begin unless you take it for your whole life.
And Jazzy, we're getting jazz rated. We're getting jazz rated. Shout out, Jazz Hall was doing Gabriel Knight, weren't you? Jazz Hall good. Oh, I spelled the name wrong. Jazz Hall. Jazz Hall does all sorts of completely insane evil games where you hate everyone responsible for making the game. It rules. And sometimes just absolute bangers. Sometimes absolute bangers, but like a lot of games that I've never heard of, and like I've occasionally sent Jazz's screenshots of just completely insane like games I've never heard of before, and she's just like, yeah, I know that one. So welcome in Jazz, welcome in Alk, welcome in Beast X Exta, welcome in Smor. Baroque was the one in particular that I sent you a while ago. Welcome in IP. My name, I should start off with that. My name is Almantas VT. I am an old man who loves old things. I do a lot of calligraphy. I play Kerbal Space Program and Deep Rock Galactic, and I am joined by the one, the only, the miracle man himself, Sclimbo.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Sclimbo. I'm the certified Sclimbo of Sock's VTubing agency, and I'm a self-improvement VTuber.
Yeah, he's a self-improvement VTuber. And we were on here talking about long-term fitness. Right, not just like how to lift well, which is something that Sclimbo does love, but how to lift for life. Because I'm old,
lift for life.
I am old, and as I keep on pointing out, the only thing that actually prevents me or any of the men in my family from having horrible lower back pain is deadlifts, and like that's it. Like that's it. That's the tech. That's the tech.
Yeah, it saves you.
It's the savior. You don't even need to do a lot of them. Like just like a set every week or two is like enough to like ward it off. But like it does have to exist. It has to be in there. You have to do it sooner or later. And so we were talking about that, and you came in on actually I think Jazzal probably actually does have opinions on this. You came in on us discussing Ozempic. Because I'm an ignoramus on Ozempic.
And so the one thing that someone mentioned it in chat and asked about this, about like it leading to poorer nutrition, and that is another thing where early on, and I believe this is where the data is right now, but early on people were worried that Ozempic was actually causing muscle loss and bone density loss. And because it seemed like the groups that were taking Ozempic were more prone to that. But to my knowledge, as far as the data is right now, it was more a mechanism of them not understanding nutrition, their appetite being suppressed, and then them not eating proper nutrition because of that. So, you know, sure enough, turns out that somebody who had disordered eating in the first place, who didn't understand proper nutrition, was then put on a hunger suppressant, but still had disordered eating. So the things they still chose to eat weren't the healthiest, and they suddenly were deficient in a bunch of vitamins and stuff that maybe they had before purely from overconsumption, but now did not have. And so they'd have muscle loss, they'd have bone loss and stuff like that because they weren't getting proper nutrition suddenly.
Hitting gallstone issues. Ouch. That's not a good one. That's not a good side effect. That's a rough side effect, buddy. It's kind of interesting because this is one of those ones where, like, because of the way that I use social media and interact with the external world, I heard about Ozempic largely from like a very moralizing angle, on both ends of it, right? Like a lot of people saying that we need to ban Ozempic because it's causing people to lose weight like unfairly, basically. Like it's,
that's a weird way to look at it though. There's a lot of like, ego tied up in that of like, I did it the right way.
There's a lot of ego. There's a lot of mysticism. I would even
less worried about health, more worried about pride, I would say.
Oh, I mean, certainly. If you are deriving a lot of social prestige from your relative fitness, then other people becoming more fit is bad for you, right?
Right, totally, yeah.
Like, which is how it always goes, right? It's how it always goes for anything that's prestigious, right? For anything that's got clout, for any source of prestige and clout, there's going to be a certain degree of gatekeeping around it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's a rough way to put it. A rough way to think about it. Like,
yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's crazy. I am just thinking about that. Like,
all to say, I do think it's something that is a tool in the toolbox, but it probably should be paired, like if you're going to take it, paired with understanding portion control and nutrition as well, so they can work hand in hand. And then ideally, after you're done, you can get off of it and be okay. Because not to mention that, when you're cutting, obviously you have less calories to work with. So once you get to a goal weight, you're going to suddenly have more calories because of maintenance phase, right? So it's like, if you were taking it, you lost a lot of weight, you learned the portion control, you understood the nutrition, and then suddenly you started off at a higher baseline than before, and you have more available because you're not on a cut, that like would probably have better outcomes, I would say.
Interesting. Yeah. Huh. What about surgery where they make your stomach smaller? I don't have a lot of opinions on that. I know that I know that I can talk about the sociology and politics around that a little bit more than I can talk about like the health of it.
Yeah, that's a little out of my wheelhouse too, honestly. But similar idea to just lowering the amount that you can eat, but people would pop those all the time if they just were eating for more mental health reasons, right? Like as a coping mechanism. And then they just blow the stitches in their stomach.
Oh, I don't want to think about that. That makes me really
on topic of aging.
That's a thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, alcohol. Yeah. So well, I mean, it is. I mean, it's not the rough part. Is not the rough part's the blowing stitches part, not the rest of it. That's but yeah, so that is like a really good point though about like the way that affects like your micronutrients, right? That like, and for that matter, I guess your macro balance. That if your diet is, if you're getting like a lot of your calories from say Oreos, and you cut your diet because of a gastric, or because of Ozempic, and you cut out whatever fruits and vegetables you were eating in favor of making sure that the only thing you were having was the was your Oreos.
Yep, you're full.
that's going to be very bad for you. That's going to be very bad for you.
Yep. Suddenly you're under eating protein. You're wasting away.
Yeah.
But one topic I wanted to talk about in regards to aging, actually, that I figured was really important to put out here. There were like two things I really wanted to talk about. First one was the idea of the metabolism as you age, because there's a lot of new information on this, and I think it makes sense to me, but it's also like very against the general thought process and how people act.
I'm all ears. I know so little about this, and I'm pretty sure that whatever I believed was extremely stupid. So let's hear it. Yeah,
you're gonna love this actually. So common knowledge used to be, or common assumption, you hear this all the time, right? Like, metabolism ain't what it used to be, right? During college, so on and so forth. Turns out metabolism really doesn't slow down until your 60s.
Oh, brutal. Brutal.
So all of that is mostly due to lifestyle factors, it seems, and that makes sense, right? People get kids, they get more sedentary, they're at sitting down office jobs, they're not moving around as much, not doing sports anymore. And all of these contribute to make people feel like their metabolism slowed down. Oftentimes, the only reason it slowed down is because they stopped moving.
Interesting. That is interesting, because I felt like when I was a teenager, I could just eat an entire pizza, like by myself, like every day, and I would have been fine. And
well,
then
puberty is different. Puberty is a different.
There's
level,
there is that
like
element
adulthood. Yeah.
There's that element of it. I mean, the truth of the matter is that as I got older, the real thing that would stop me from eating a whole cheese pizza is at some point greasy food started giving me heartburn.
Yep.
I think
age.
Yeah, I think I lost some of the elasticity on the stomach.
Yep.
on that part, on the stomach valve. But yeah, I always assumed that there was like a big metabolism thing there. It did also make me crazy sleepy. I didn't even notice the weight gain so much as the fact that I would just like fall asleep.
Yeah, no, it seems like more recent data has shown that metabolism really doesn't start slowing down, and even then it's gradual around your 60s for most people. So now I haven't looked at like male versus female differences there. Menopause can definitely be different. But general idea being that oftentimes it's not the truth behind why people are gaining weight. It's their lifestyle, and our lifestyles as we age right now, at least, are very, in the West, not adapted towards exercise. It's very adapted towards being sedentary.
Also, hello X-Rock, thank you for the first time chat. That's a different question, Velvet XI. So the different there's a question around like the metabolism in your body is a kind of my understanding of it, right, is there's a bit of a dialectic between different phases in the metabolism based on how you are eating. Where you have the rest, you have like a resting phase like right after you've eaten, and then it like ramps up into a faster metabolism but that's just like a daily process. That's on the scale of like 24 hours. That's not on the scale of like decades or even years.
Right. And different, and also obviously at rest versus movement, which is just, work levels of energy and things. But the question of slowing down metabolism if you eat too low, i.e. being basically below your basal metabolic rate, it's not so much that you do damage by doing that, but that's because your body will, when it is lacking in energy, start shutting down kind of like non-essential body functions and stuff like that. So you don't, it's not like you'll be able to still gain weight by eating too little, but you will start to see things, for example, like your nails might not grow as fast, your hair might start falling out more or become more damaged or stuff like that. Like non-essential body functions, if you eat too low, will start slowing down.
And the most obvious ones, you'll recover from injuries and illnesses more slowly.
Oh yeah. Oh, maybe not even at all in some cases.
Well, I mean, that's actually one of those like little like grim stories, is that like historically speaking, like the reason why winter killed people wasn't because of people freezing to death. It's because you ran out of food because of a bad harvest, and you make choices about who gets to keep up all the food, and you choose the prime age adults in the household. You choose the working age adults in the household, which means that your babies and your old people now cannot fight off infections that they would have been able to fight off with a different harvest condition.
Exactly.
And that's the common collector of man. I've been on like a bit of I'm sorry if that's like super grim. I've been on a bit of like a peasant food kick for a little bit here.
You've been peasant maxing. You've been looking into it.
Maxing. I mean, I one of my like I love making my own bread.
One of my good friends is a peasant.
Yeah. Some of my friends are peasants. And it's Polybius, I think I think you'll like it around here. Everything will slow down, and it's not like good, right? And like I said, that was one of the things that I noticed was like one of those functions that started to shut down really fast for myself was intellectual. Started to go away really, really fast. That did not take time like at all. That was like within a couple of days, I was like dumb as a rock.
Yeah.
So I would that was what stopped me on weight loss for so long. Is there a way to reverse what, Maho?
The idea of that slowdown. Yeah, honestly, just to return to a normal eating habit.
Yeah, just eat enough food
because
it comes back pretty fast.
Things you could be in it for so long. There's some more permanent damage, obviously, to body function and stuff if things are really shutting down. But for the most part, like, if you do it by accident every once in a while, it's not the end of the world, because you have to remember too. And I always talk about this, but like the body doesn't work on an exact 24-hour clock, right? Like we might think it is. It's not like, oh, I ate too little today, I'm gonna go into starvation mode and my organs are gonna shut down. No. You still have plenty of fat stores, energy in your body, nutrients in your body from the day before. In many cases, like you're good. Just it's not a consistent, regular thing. Then it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Hello, Insensato. It's a thing that develops over time. It's a thing that takes time. There's long-term versus acute malnutrition. And we were talking about stuff that was on like the 24-hour to like week to month type of basis, not the like permanent. We were trying to avoid like the permanent damage discussion because that was that takes a lot more. That takes a lot more efforts to get into like real, true, permanent damage from malnutrition. It does happen, but it does happen. I think that's a more complicated discussion around like eating disorders, which we may not be prepared for here.
Probably. I know a bit, but obviously I'm not like medically licensed for that sort of thing. Just anecdotal from training people and stuff. That being said, I will say that if we talk about permanent damage, there is the case where something might not be permanent damage, but might be a permanent affliction without knowledge, specifically for people around here. Vitamin D and iron deficiency are very prevalent. It's hyper prevalent and something everyone should check.
Yes. It's actually kind of fun that like the only reason why I'm confident that I am not iron deficient is I donate blood a lot. And they have a higher level of that they need for you to qualify for donating blood than what you need for normal life, because they're about to pull blood out of you. It's gonna take a lot of iron out of you, and so I know because I get my blood checked when I donate blood. And I know that I'm not, but like it's very common. It's very common. And I have been iron deficient at other points in my life, and it does fuck up your mood.
It's like, I would say, obviously not a sole cause, because there's obviously societal factors, but like a significant cause of like seasonal depression or a lot of depression in general, oftentimes can be vitamin deficiencies.
Yeah, and often specifically vitamin D's and vitamin C. Vitamin C is at least like really easy to manage. That one's like that one's really easy. Vitamin D like takes some amount of effort.
1,500 times the daily recommended amount and then piss out the rest. It's really easy.
And it's like super fast. I'm also going to take a brief note here that somebody said about like regaining weight. I would not say chicken. I would not recommend chicken for regaining weight. Chicken's pretty lean.
For just gaining weight in general?
For gaining weight back up. I don't think of that as a good bulker. I think peanut butter is a good bulker.
Thighs. Peanut butter is a great bulker. You could go like chicken thighs with skin on. Not the best thing in the world, but that would be a much higher calorie cut. But things like the safe, healthy way to do this would be things like increasing amount of like olive oil and stuff, having more nuts in general. That's a very caloric dense, but not high volume way to gain weight. Yeah.
I can say that so this is just like one of my weird health quirks is that I get canker sores when I get sick from almost anything else. And that prevents me from eating. And so that can sometimes cause me to lose weight really fast.
Yep.
And so the thing that I do for that is I can still have smoothies. So I start putting peanut butter in the banana smoothies, and that tends to level it out from being like a total weight crash. Like, cause like I've definitely had like things where it's like, oh, I'm like losing like multiple pounds a week. Which is not good. Like if you're losing like 3, 4, 5 pounds a week, that's like not, that's a crash. That's not like losing 2 or 3 pounds a week is like a lot of weight loss, but like 5 pounds when you're not trying to lose weight is like really rough.
Right. And when you're not like super medically obese.
Yeah, and Gamma Churchill, this is the brofu. This is the brofu, because Sclimbos are the patron saint of Bricken, and this was my contribution to Bricken discourse. It was the brofu.
You see it came out right before I went on stream, but so it was announced that SVA Socks is a title sponsor of CarrierCon in March.
Oh,
and
no, I missed this entirely.
Yeah, just came out basically, but it's a convention on an aircraft carrier, the USS Hornet, in March.
Hornet, awesome, awesome. That's a good
Hornet.
one. That's a good one.
And I didn't know this. I just like no one told me about this, but they announced it by saying like someone's brickening all over the place, and I'm like, man.
What a legacy for you to have.
Honestly.
The Hornet, for folks, the Hornet is one of the few remaining museum ships from World War II in the US. Hello, Nap. It's Nap. I love Nap so fucking much. This is one of my favorite streamers. Not a Professor is a museum worker who streams doing genealogy research, and
oh, that's cool.
It's so cool. It's so cool. And then also plays 2 Point Museum a lot, doing the classic going home from work to do my work simulator of my own job.
Yeah, I do my job.
He's definitely not a professor. It's the one thing we know for sure about not a professor is he's not a professor. But yeah, no, the Hornet's the only. It is also, it might be the only ship still the Yorktown. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if that was the only ship that we still kept around from Midway. If we also kept around the Yorktown, then the Yorktown as well. I haven't been on the Hornet. I've never gotten to be on the Hornet.
I also believe somebody told me that it was also the carrier that went and picked up the Apollo mission. Apollo 11 astronauts. Or the capsule, yeah. It's one of them.
We in Sensato we named aircraft carriers other than the Hornet. We named them largely after independence battles. So like the Saratoga is another one. The USS Saratoga is another one of the World War II aircraft carriers. Later aircraft carriers are named after like presidents and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's a boat. It's a boat, Daya. It's a really big boat. The Hornet is a really, really big boat.
It's a big boat.
It's a very big boat. We are about to go into ads. So we will put you guys on the BRB screen so you can see the fan arts. And then we'll be back in a few minutes. See ya. Excellent timing, Raiders. Excellent timing, Raiders. We were literally just counting back into coming back on when you raided in. Welcome in, Hahi and Raiders. My name is Almantas VT. I am a former professor of sociology, current VTuber, an old man who loves old things. I am joined today by the one, the only, the Sclimbo SVA.
Hey, what's up? I'm Sclimbo from Socks Agency. I'm a self-improvement VTuber and certified Sclimbo. If you want to talk about fitness or nutrition, that's my bag. So ask me anything.
Yeah, and we are talking about aging and fitness, and the effects that aging has on what you should do to keep aging from kicking your ass too badly. Which mostly we've been saying, figure out some cardio that you can tolerate. Don't cook with so much oil, and deadlift. Has mostly been the conclusions.
Yeah, I think the big things to get out of the way, like the big misconceptions, I guess I would say, about aging, and like the big things to look out for are the number one thing being your metabolism actually probably doesn't slow down that much until you're in your 60s. So it's very likely lifestyle that's making people, feel more sedentary and put on more weight and stuff like that. So it's good to just take a step back and look at that objectively and say, okay, maybe it's actually how I live nowadays. Maybe because I have kids, I'm less free time, I'm moving less, I'm making different choices. Maybe we're cooking homemade meals all the time. There's a lot of oil in them or something like that. Or we're spending, there's so many calories in the food we're eating now because it's yummy. So there's many factors to look at there. On the exercise side of things, as you age, what we were kind of talking about at the beginning was probably better not to focus so much on very high impact sports as you get older and older.
Yeah.
Kind of leave the heavy powerlifting and really heavy high impact stuff for when you're younger, and then ease as you get older into more low impact things like even things like incline walking, hiking, swimming, still weight training, but maybe not, taxing your 1 rep max to the absolute limit type stuff. So those are general things to look out for. Absolutely.
No, swimming's a wonderful one. Swimming's great.
Yeah, swimming's great.
Also, X-Rock and Cinepact, thank you for the follows. I forgot to catch X-Rock because he got me during the break. Swimming is an excellent low impact cardio exercise. It does have the challenge of you need to have access to like a good place for swimming on the regular.
Yep.
Swimming, I do want to take a note here that if your goal is to live a long life, swimming does have something you really need to keep in mind about it, which is
getting eaten by sharks.
Well, you can drown.
That's true.
Drowning kills you. Drowning
does kill you.
Drowning does kill you, and it is surprisingly likely to happen. It is surprisingly possible to drown even if you're a pretty healthy swimmer. So if swimming is an exercise that you would like to get into, thank you, Daya. Make sure that you are swimming in places. Owen Ion. Thank you for the raid. We got another raid. Hello, Raiders. My name is Almantas. I'm a former professor of sociology, a current VTuber, an old man who loves old things. Thank you all very much for raiding. I am joined here today by Sclimbo.
I'm Sclimbo, Jim. There's my intro.
Ran out of energy. I did not get to say very quickly to Hahi. I'm hoping that you were enjoying Undertale. Undertale is one of my favorite video games of all time. A really amazing piece of work. I love it. I hope that iRacing was good. I'm assuming that iRacing is a racing game. I do not know iRacing, but I'm assuming it's a racing game. But yes. Welcome in. If you need to raid and it's my third. I have been on a tear today. Sogi Heavy, I can do it all day. I think if it's more than 10 in 1 hour, I will start to go a little bit batty. But that is on autopilot for me. But swimming, it's worth pointing out, this is a thing to keep in mind about like all sorts of exercises, that they do have external forms of danger that are not the like usual fitness things that you think about. So if you are in New York, like me, I do not recommend picking up bicycling.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Bicycling in New York is actually dangerous. People think a lot of other things in New York are dangerous that are not dangerous. Bicycling is actually dangerous here.
Yeah.
It's I highly recommend doing something else. Running, swimming, running up and down your stairs. But, New York's bike lanes are not reasonably protected. New York drivers are crazy. New York drivers are honestly generally pretty good, but it's just not great to share the road with a lot of cars. And Gamma, I think New York is pretty safe. It might just be warped because I've lived in some very nasty areas, but New York is the safest area I've ever lived in.
Oh, okay, wow. That's wow.
I can give you a rundown of some of the other places I've lived.
Beforehand?
No comment. But I'm talking about Brooklyn. Brooklyn I actually really like. Thank you for adding the quote. No, New York is also like people think it's still 1985. 1985 New York is a very, very scary place, but 2025 New York is a very different place. It's a lot of
like
things
the
have
Warriors
changed
back then.
Yeah, like the Warriors and like the Last Action Hero happening and stuff like that. It's a very different city. It's a very, very different city. The city that I'm from was much safer back when I was a younger man. I've actually said it before on stream, so whatever. Chicago. And I'm not from the nice parts of Chicago. New York is I find New York very, very nice. I find New Yorkers a very sweet people and a very kind place to live. And it's certainly safer than anywhere else I've lived. But yes, also hello Raxator. Yeah, I was Gamma.
Crack. Oh my
I don't
God.
like that phrasing. I don't really like that phrasing. It's like a weird political valence. I understand that it's like a fun thing to say, but it's like I don't know. It's weird. It is simply a city that has fallen on rough times for a lot of the last couple of decades. But yes, okay. Hello, Aspen. This is one of my regulars. How are you doing, Aspen? Aspen Brasina. Hold on, the autocomplete isn't working, so I got to spell this out manually. Drakaina. How are you doing, Aspen? Oh, you're power washing. So, Raiders. My name, hello, U-Turn. Hello, other Raiders. Hello, Pandaroo. My name is Almantas VT. I am a former professor of sociology, current VTuber, and I'm joined today by Sclimbo Sklimbles.
That's me. What's up? I'm Sclimbo from Sox VTubing Agency. I am a self-improvement VTuber, so fitness, nutrition, anything like that, and I'm your guy. What's up?
Yeah. Thank you for the follow, U-Turn. We've been discussing aging and exercise, and I was kind of discussing that when choosing a cardio methodology, it's worth thinking about some of the external dangers, right? Like if you're in a really high traffic area, bicycling might not really be a good idea. If running is your jam, which is my jam, I have made kind of a bad choice there because there's nothing but concrete, right? And that's going to make an ultimate impact. Like the relative lack of grass is a genuine negative, right? For my chosen exercise. And with swimming, make sure that you are in areas with lifeguards. Right? Like
I would mention on the topic of biking though, really quick, one thing I will say is if you're not in a super high traffic area and you can use biking, but you are, especially in really old age, I really highly recommend e-bikes. I think e-bikes are amazing for that sort of thing because it lets you ease back into biking if you've never done it before, or if you're, you have joint issues or something like that, like easing into it with e-bikes. Yeah.
E-bikes are incredible. They're great.
They're the best.
It's actually like like this is like one of those cases where like if you like read the news without ever looking at numbers or talking to human beings who use things, you would not have understood that like the e-bike revolution is like a bigger deal than self-driving cars have been. Like
I agree.
They're so important. They're so like e-bikes genuinely have the potential to truly transform our entire like urban landscape in a way that like is hard to like hasn't really happened for a long time. Like it's so impressive. It's so impressive. Self-driving cars are weapons of mass destruction. True. Yeah, bikes are an insane technology. Bikes are such a crazy technology. We are so blessed that we can have bicycles in the modern era.
I saw an insane statistic that I don't necessarily believe, but like I kind of see where they're coming from, but it seems crazy, where just because of the efficiency of like e-bike batteries and stuff like that, they compared like the carbon footprint of literally biking normally versus an e-bike and deduced that the calorie requirements for biking normally required more of a like carbon input than an e-bike.
That's really funny. Which
is great. It's like wild, but like, I mean, I don't know.
Because a lot of the reason why, so like the thing is like, you know, if we're talking about the environmental side of things, right? Like, humans are actually really quite bad, just in terms of like total efficiency compared to like an internal combustion engine. The thing is that if you are using a bicycle or even just walking somewhere, the only additional weight is the equipment or your shoes, right? Like, because like if you are using a car to transport you, the car is very efficient on a like converting like amount of carbon produced per joule produced, but it's also having to transport several thousand pounds of steel.
Exactly.
And that's way more important than everything else. Whereas the e-bike is adding like a trivial amount.
Yeah, e-bikes these days for a good one, they're like 40 pounds or like 35 pounds, and they do 20 miles per hour for like 30 miles with no assist at all. They're actually very good these days.
They're a wild piece of equipment. They're a completely crazy piece of equipment. They're completely nuts. Sorry.
Yeah, great way to, if you're older in age or like or worried about, you know, you didn't really bike a lot before, but you want to get into it, you can use it like a training bicycle because you can start at a high assist and then ease the assist down as you get better until you're using none at all. It's a great way to train into biking too.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, it's easy to recommend. What are the other big like cardio ones? I guess there's like rowing, which is kind of an insane option. Hiking.
Yeah, but a lot of gyms do have rowing machines.
Yeah, if you got
hiking.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about like the non-machine options. I don't know why I'm thinking about the non-machine options. You're the gym owner, so I figure you can come up with the gym options. Kayaking, obviously. Dance is an option. Dance is
a really good one.
Honestly, martial arts.
Martial arts is great.
Martial arts is a great
Tai
one.
Chi, yoga, Pilates, all of it.
Tai Chi is actually pretty fun, I gotta say. Like, people underestimate Tai Chi. Like, they really underestimate it.
When we study why people live the longest, and this is also kind of like a sociology sort of thing, but when you study the areas where people live the longest, there's always a similar combination of factors, right? Where it's like a somewhat similar type of diet, a very big emphasis on community, even in old age, right? So people are actually getting out and interacting. They're not holed up in their house somewhere. And also active movement, right? They're walking constantly. They're still doing sport of some kind, even if it's light. So those are like the factors that contribute to like long-term health, I think, more than anything.
Yeah, I think that's probably because I think your body really just hates to be like to not get itself out there, right?
It does. It really does.
Gotta rep your HEMA. Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. Martial arts, it depends. I think it's going to depend quite a bit on the martial art in question.
If you're doing sparring or not.
Yeah, if you're doing sparring, well, I mean, different martial arts will have different levels of impact, and I don't know a lot about martial arts because it's never particularly been my jam. The there I do know a person who did Brazilian jiu-jitsu and had to quit for a very interesting reason that I didn't think about, which is eczema.
Oh.
Also, hello, Quincy. So if people don't understand where this is going, jiu-jitsu is one where you are not just touching other people, but you're often being slammed into the mat.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And rolling on it and getting rug burns and stuff, basically. Yeah.
So if you have eczema, your skin, the way that eczema skin is less good at keeping foreign things from going through your skin. So he was getting crazy infections from the mats, and he had to quit because he was just getting like insane. It's like it depends a lot, and like it's very easy to think about like a martial art that's either high impact because you're getting hit by the other people doing the martial art. For example, boxing, right? Boxing very famously horrible on your body. Very, very famous for that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, universally, if you fight anyone ever.
probably worse to do boxing than to actually not work out, to be honest. Like it's pretty hard to get there, but I think that one might actually be worse than just not exercising.
Like professional football.
Yeah, professional football would be another one. Yeah. Doing proper full impact gridiron is also probably worse. Those are probably about the only ones I can come up with that are in fact worse for you than just not, right? Than just nothing. So there's but if, and I can also imagine certain grappling ones, if they're not checking the grapples very frequently, are going to cause some very severe joint injuries.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally. Well, they're almost meant to, right?
They're meant to. So unless like people are really pulling their punches on their grapples or doing them in very specific ways, that's a serious risk. And then there's capoeira, right? Where like ideally in capoeira you almost never touch your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, probably just good. Like, probably pretty close to pure upside on capoeira.
Yep.
So, like, it's going to depend on the martial art, I think. I think it's going to depend on the martial art.
I would say that if you were looking at, like, the blueprint for what would be, like, the healthiest old age, I would say that it's a combination of, you're looking at somebody who is taking, they are probably doing some sort of low impact cardio most days, maybe like 6 days a week or something like that, but not too strenuous, right? They're just keeping a moderate level of it, and maybe zone 2 cardio or something. They're, with their friends and family a lot in the community, probably eating somewhat towards like a Mediterranean diet almost, right? Like a pescatarian or fish high diet. That's the famous one. And definitely like, weightlifting minor as well here and there and stuff, and maybe doing a lot of stretching, like I said, yoga. That's probably like the blueprint.
Yeah, the
for sustainability.
Yeah, probably yoga 3 days a week, weightlifting the other 3 days a week, swimming 6 days a week, 1 day where you don't do any exercise. And
yep. And as long as all things are moderate, right? Not close to failure at that point.
Not close to failure. And we actually have not mentioned one of the most important ones, but I think it says something about like the types of people we are and like how we know VTubers. Just don't fucking smoke, people.
Oh yeah. Don't do bad stuff like that.
Like, well, I mean, you forget about it because like you're hanging around in like a weight loss, not weight loss, a fitness world, but like a lot of people just smoke, and that's
true.
It is. I'm so grateful for public smoking bans. I'm so grateful. They grind a human eyeball for weed. And from what I can tell, the not great to have the, what do we call that? The vapes don't appear to be they appear to be an improvement, but not as much of one as advertised.
Yeah, just don't do stuff, honestly. Just don't do anything. It's fine.
Yeah, don't actively poison yourself for fun.
Yeah.
Wear a seatbelt.
There's another one. Even alcohol. Alcohol confers almost no benefits, health-wise, and is usually just generally dangerous. Social drinking is fine, obviously, but if you want to be really health conscious, you just don't even do it.
Yeah, I say as a person who had some of the worst alcohol on the planet on Tuesday on stream, and people got to watch me suffer. But yeah,
caffeine's good though.
Really? I try to avoid this.
No, so it appears that the problem with caffeine is people do overconsume it. It's kind of like sugar, right? And people tend to build a tolerance, so then they have more because they want to still feel the same, register as before. But if you keep to a reasonable amount of caffeine and use it like a regular supplement, for example, especially like caffeine and taurine, even we've seen studies that show taurine's actually good for heart resiliency against disease, and caffeine can actually help things like Alzheimer's and dementia, when taken for normal doses for a long period of time. So yeah, caffeine's pretty good as a supplement. There aren't really any downsides besides the tolerance that you build of it, and even that gets reset in 2 weeks if you don't take any. So it's pretty good.
I will say I avoid caffeine because I remember watching my teachers who were dependent on caffeine and watching how they behaved in the morning, and I was like, oh. Also, hello, Elliot. Good to see you, Elliot.
Hey, Elliot.
So I don't.
That's not the way to use it.
I don't drink it a lot. I try to avoid it because I don't like being dependent on specific chemicals.
Totally. I didn't use it till this year, and I only started using it because I was kind of interested in how it would feel and what that was like because I saw the studies on it.
Yeah, I tend to reserve caffeine for when I already have an exhaustion headache. And then it's actually it's like a medicinal. I would probably drink more because oolong tea is legitimately one of my favorite drinks on the planet. You see a drink called
tea kind of rocks.
Honestly, anything that's a gas station specific medication is exactly the that's also going on the list next to cigarettes.
Kratom.
I didn't know that kratom was addictive. Or am I thinking of something else? Am I mixing it up with something else?
I'm not sure. That's out of my wheelhouse. I just was surprised to see certain things at a gas station. It's Coke and fries for a migraine. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Get some calories in there, some carbs, some heavy weight, and some caffeine. Right? Caffeine is really good for headaches. Caffeine is really phenomenal for headaches. Excedrin includes quite a bit of caffeine. I think if you're gonna have caffeine, how you'd probably want to do it, and this is I wouldn't say this is more personal preference than it is a pure scientific thing, but generally recommended is not to have more than 400 milligrams of caffeine per day as an adult, right? So I would do something like maybe limit yourself to 200, right? Half of that, or even just have 100 milligrams a day. Take it not right when you wake up, but somewhere in mid-morning to noon, maybe, and just have that be a kind of regular supplemental thing, but not something you rely on as a crutch. Where it's still a small enough dose, right? So you're not just having 600 milligrams a day and you're shooting coffee like crazy and getting crashes all the time. That's probably a better way to manage your caffeine, but it could be helpful in some cases. Yeah.
Could be helpful. I mean, the thing is, I can also see why, as a stimulant, it has a positive effect on longer term, on fighting mental deterioration, on degenerative things. And this is not something we talked about at all. Was worrying about the degenerative illnesses. We did talk a lot of the stuff we've been saying is valuable for some of the degenerative illnesses. A lot of the stuff we've been saying, from the people I know who've had Parkinson's, they've said that it helped. Just things that help with your balance, things that help with your muscular system, things that help with your with those parts of your muscular and proprioception and balance systems tend to help with that. But for I don't want to talk about the neurodegenerative ones at all because I don't think either of us know anything. But
yeah, and even then, I would say like the best thing you can do, the best thing you can do for a lot of those things is don't do the things that cause them to get worse, right? Which is usually means just have a good diet in the first place. Although I am really interested to see what degenerative mental diseases look like in the future while we have things like video games. I'm really interested to see when mentally challenging tasks. Yeah.
Well, it's I can see some of my family members, and I can say that anecdotally, the using video games and Wordle and connections and stuff like that seems to help, seems to decrease the speed of decline. ChatGPT accelerates it way faster.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Like way faster.
Way faster.
Genuinely kind of wondering if like ChatGPT is like going to cause macroscopic lifespan decrease. Like it's
honestly, I mean, think about it this way, right? Like one of the examples I always like to use is technology does sometimes replace a natural skill that we have, and then we lose that natural skill, right? We become worse. Like how many directions do you remember? How many phone numbers do you remember, right? Versus
my goodness.
Past.
Yeah. I do not I remember like one phone number that I learned after 2005. I can remember the phone numbers of people who I have not talked to since 2003.
Oh, same, yeah.
They're just like baked in there. And I cannot remember the phone numbers of like people who I've like known almost my entire life at this point. Like it's I mean, this is a point that people have made about books, like even as simple as books. Like automation technologies have always been with us. The sycophant, the automated sycophant does seem to be uniquely dangerous, though. That's that one does seem to be uniquely bad. Well,
there's a lot to look forward to, but all to say, I think like video games, brain challenges like that, even reaction time challenges. I think we're gonna have some interesting data in the future. I
genuinely flat out fucking hate the piece of knowledge that reaction time and broader intelligence are really deeply linked. Really hate this. I really hate this piece of knowledge, and it does appear to be true that like we can like predict like long-term test scores by like the pencil drop test. I fucking hate this. It makes
me so dumb. My reaction time is so bad.
It's so awful. It's so awful. I do think that Elliot, you're already like demonstrably intelligent. It's not a big deal. It's you're fine. It's just but yeah, it's so I am curious about it, and I honestly would be kind of curious because like they've done some amount of studying on video games and how it affects cognition, but I don't think I've ever seen them do like the pencil drop test is something we do with babies. It's how we test like how well a baby is cognitively developing, like but when they're pre-linguistic, where you drop a pencil that's like almost in their hand, like they've got their hand like almost around a pencil, and then you let go of the pencil, and you see, you have to train them to want to do it, and like you see like how far the pencil fell before they grabbed it, and that like tells you how their reaction time is developing. And so, so it's just really obnoxious that does seem to have like correlation to like later effects. And like part of this is also that like intelligence has been, IQ scores have been going up like really consistently. It's called the Flynn effect. It's one of the most well-known pieces of psychometrics. We have to change IQ tests all the time. Every single year, we have to change the entire IQ test infrastructure, or else the average IQ for the world would not be 100. The average IQ would be like 130. Like we have to change it all the time to account for the fact that IQ scores are just drifting up over time. And that appears to mostly be due to nutrition.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's
like,
often
nutrition. Like a huge, because the test is from like 1910. Like it's like a pre-World War I thing. Like that's when we were sending kids to work in the mines at 14 and serving them nothing but like whiskey. Like giving like a 10-year-old like 2 gallons, giving them whiskey instead of vegetables. So it's so as a base, we're getting smarter over time. Yes. And again, it's largely because of we have less brain damage from malnutrition is what it actually is.
Yeah, and lead.
And lead. And I mean, we're keeping kids in school longer. And we're better at teaching. We are better at teaching. That is actually true. We are, in fact, actually better at teaching. It feels that way, Raxator, because there's a lot of people telling you that, and there are ways in which I think that there's like some justified evidence. But also, I do remember what the 70s, 80s, and 90s were like. So I really struggle.
Not to mention people with the leaded gasoline brains might still be in charge. So
yeah. I like the thing is like people just kind of like have just like arbitrarily forgotten about like the satanic panic and stuff like that. So it's just
true.
We just have chosen not to remember it because remembering it is so embarrassing for everybody involved. Also, a little squirrel Fudun. Mr. Sclimbo, though, I think we're getting to the end. We're getting to the end here. So, chat, do you have some questions for us before we wrap up?
Oh yeah, good time for Q&A. Yeah,
a little bit.
I think if there's any also last minute aging things, but yeah, general. The thing is with a lot of fitness and nutrition, I always like to say it's kind of like what your grandma told you back in the day, right? Where it's like the basics are true. You can get very nuanced with it, but the reality is if you live healthy, you move, and you have a balanced diet, you're doing 90% of the work, and that you're going to be really well off. So
yeah, School of Fudun, thank you for the follow. And a lot of it, and again, like this is probably the most important part about it from an aging perspective in general is you need to get out of the mindset that exercise is about being the best.
Yes.
You need to get out of that. You need to defeat this. This is an evil demon that shonen anime has put into your brain. This is a monster that is inside you and is eating you alive. Exercise is about changing your body from being what it currently is to being better than it was before. And as you get older, you will eventually lose this fight. I just want to kind of be clear here. You are getting there are two options. One is that you get old, not just old in the way that like millennials talk about, like you get proper fucking old and your joints don't work and you can't remember things and you go gray and you bend over and all this stuff. That is one result. And the only other result is you die young. You will lose the fight, but you can improve your quality of life a lot on that side. You can really, really make your quality of life a lot better. And this is not just like physically, this is also mentally. If you are keeping physically active, your mind will respond and will do better. And again, it is not about, am I going to win an Olympic medal? Right. It is.
Right.
Am I going to have a better life than I would if I wouldn't?
Yeah. And it's something to start thinking about even when you're youngish, I would say, to kind of start planning. So I'm personally in that phase right now where I used to do powerlifting. That was kind of where I came from fitness wise. And I'm kind of done. I'm kind of saying now I want to move towards, now that there's threes in front of my number, right? I'm going to start moving towards more sustainable fitness for the long term and not chase anything big in particular, but at the same time, never letting myself say, oh, I'm too old for this, right? I'm too old for X, because you're not. You can always have capability in old age, partially due to luck. You don't have, you don't get cancer, you don't get joint disorders or anything like that, but also due to nutrition, sleep, recovery, proper exercise, and all that.
Yeah, it's So Vovern was asking about a connection between caffeine intake and ADHD individuals and an increase in sleepiness. I can tell you that I can tell you that anecdotally, if I already have an exhaustion headache and I take caffeine, it will tend to obviate the headache. if I'm not already feeling horrible and I take caffeine, there is a 30% chance I get really active, a 30% chance I get a headache, and a 30% chance I just fall asleep immediately.
Yeah, so this
like,
isn't my this isn't my exact area of expertise, but I do know this one, that yes, if you have ADHD, in some cases, caffeine can overstimulate the pathways and make you tired. That can absolutely, that's a real thing.
Yeah, and yeah, so okay, that's actually like a non-trivial part of it. It's like I feel like I'm gambling. I feel like I'm doing gotcha with my brain whenever I have like if I have like a big cup of tea or something like that. It's just like a total gotcha, total gamba there. How do you apply? We talked about the chronic health issues. Okay, so the biggest thing with a chronic health issue is to take it slow, and depending on the severity of the chronic health issue, you probably want to be talking to a physical therapist, because that's literally what their job is.
Yes. But that being said, and you should talk to a physical therapist too, because in many cases, almost in every single case I know, there are almost every chronic illness can be improved, your life quality, by doing some sort of exercise and some sort of activity. So letting it beat you, it feels unfair. But at the same time, and it might be harder to do exercise than someone else, for example, but it will increase your quality of life if you can do a proper one.
I'm shouting out to Panya because she is studying physical therapy. Your entire connective tissue is no bueno. I would assume that that's a question of, talk to a physical therapist who is familiar with that. I don't know what you mean by no bueno. If you mean no bueno on this level of you are unable
to...
Yeah, are you unable to like move in general, in which case it's a little bit hard to recommend that you do things that move. If you're too stretchy, then...
It's Ehlers-Danlos. It's always Ehlers-Danlos.
Yeah, it's
called...
The VTuber, so many VTubers have it. So many VTubers.
No, so many people I train. It's like, I don't know if it's becoming more common or what, but like the combination of like POTS and that, like POTS and that is something I come across very frequent. Like it's everywhere.
Ehlers-Danlos is interesting to me because it's so comorbid with autism. That I have like seen people turn on their hand cams and have been like, that person's got the autism hands. Like, yeah,
oh no.
It's EDS and autism are like super comorbid. If you've got EDS, I think other people who are smarter than us about that specifically would be able to give you real information about that. But I
generally very good deadlifters, though. I will say that.
I was about to say I do not see how it would harm to have more muscle, right? just more. I don't see how that could possibly hurt to do some compound exercises that build up some muscle.
It definitely helps.
Yeah, usually counters those problems.
But have a specialist, but it definitely does help. My joke about the deadlift thing is oftentimes the people I've trained, at least, who do have it's hypermobility, right? So they can get in the deadlift position easier.
Yeah.
So they're great deadlifters.
Yeah. We've been shouting out the deadlift here repeatedly. For the love of fucking God, folks, be very careful about your technique with deadlifts.
Yes, please have someone teach you who knows what they're doing.
Deadlifts are miracles, but deadlifts are... If you do a deadlift wrong, you can hurt yourself really, really badly. It's the difference in outcome between good deadlifts and bad deadlifts is extreme. It's really extreme. Thank you, Picorlon for the follow. I mean, the only thing that I think is actually like a worse one in terms of lifts to fuck up badly is the bench press.
I think deadlift goes worse than bench if it's messed up badly, personally.
Okay, the reason why is because of the bench. The bench can literally kill you.
Oh, that's true. You can get pinned and die. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. So please, folks, like those are the two ones. Like if you do a bad squat, you will hurt your back a lot or your legs and knees. But like compared to what you can do with a bad deadlift, it's relatively limited. Like
yeah, true.
like a bad deadlift is like you basically like took the strongest muscles in your body and attacked yourself with them.
Yeah.
You just fully punched yourself in the middle of the square in the back with your strongest, with like all of your power.
You had a lot of cool discs. You had a lot of cool discs in your back, and now they're not where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, just like a Lego man falling apart. Like
a man went to Snap City and Lego City.
Yeah. Just falling apart like it's just. Yeah, no, so deadlifts we're singing the praises of, but for the love of heaven, be careful. Just love of heaven, be very careful with them. I mean, the bad bench, the really bad bench is you drop the bar on your neck.
Yeah, and you get killed.
Yeah, you die. That is the brofu. It's not the bricken, it's the brofu. We've got to respect the traditions around here. They are... Yeah, so the deadlift is not actually that hard to do correctly. It's just that the most intuitive way to do it, if you're not thinking about it, is actually going to hurt you really badly.
Yeah. Somebody teach it to you who knows what they're doing, for sure.
Yeah. And so, and who can like who like is checking your posture while you're doing it. It's
yes.
It's once you get that technique down, you can like it sticks with you. But
I like to think that deadlifts give like biblical tier warning signs in my experience, right? Like, I think I've always felt that if you're doing a deadlift wrong, there will be a warning sign before it ruins you forever, right? Like,
probably before it ruins you forever, but I've done a deadlift incorrectly.
Totally.
It was genuinely hard to walk for a while afterwards. It was like every motion that anything that moved below my waist was like a nightmare.
It was not okay.
It was like a nightmare.
Heel pressure hurts.
Definitely doing the penguin movement to like get to the bathroom for a couple of days. So the penguin like whole body stiff, like rotate around your foot kind of motion. It's I guess it's really kind of like gingerbread men walk in like cartoons where they like cannot move anything. They just have to like go up on one foot and just like rotate the entire body around the foot and then fall over onto the other foot. Be careful with your exercises. And like you said, I'm not surprised that there's a bunch of people with EDS watching a VTuber. What a shocker there. There's no reason why EDS would make it so that you can't exercise. And in fact, you should, right? You should. Yeah. The additional muscle will help compensate for the fact that your body is by default allowing you to be hypermobile. Like it will work with that, right? Like this is actually again, this is a lot of it. We are largely talking about exercise in this context, not in terms of optimizing for highest performance, but in terms of minimizing and mitigating weaknesses.
Exactly.
That is the big perspective on the aging element here. Is that the age is coming for you. You remember your noble truths of Buddhism. Aging is coming for you. You do not get out of that. This is about slowing down the worst effects of it. And mitigating the bad effects of it. It is not about...
Oh, and also... Yeah. Sorry, one more thing at the end. You can finish.
Yeah. Winning is a life well lived.
So true. One thing I forgot to talk about, though, that I should just mention briefly at the end here is there are, ways to help, too, when you get older. So, for example, TRT. That's
true. You did mention that earlier on your own stream. We haven't talked about it at all here.
Yeah, but I want to bring that up for the aging part because, yeah, if your testosterone production does dip in old age, as it often does, and if you are optimized on sleep and vitamins and nutrition and all that, and it really is like a medical low T, introducing that can increase your quality of life significantly.
I actually, this was one that, oh man, I could talk about this one for days, the subject for days, but I know you got to get going pretty soon. But yeah, it is also, do be careful with listening to people who are not fucking doctors talking about your testosterone levels. A lot of people believe that testosterone is not a chemical that does things to your body. They believe it is a score of your manliness and virtue. And you will see one of the ones that I always think is a real highlight that you're talking to somebody who does not know at all what the hell they're talking about is when you see somebody citing as evidence of low testosterone that somebody is going bald.
Oh, true. Yeah.
In case people might be unfamiliar with this one, male pattern baldness is caused by elevated levels of testosterone. So, like, taking more testosterone will not make you less bald. It will make you more bald. It will not cause the hair to grow back. But
no, you're so right, because there's even a lot of places in various countries that will give you quote unquote TRT without it being like you want to go to your doctor and have your testosterone levels checked. And in a good case, your doctor will come back and say, okay, let's look at your lifestyle first before we give you anything and make sure that all these other things are correct, right? Make sure it's not low T because you're not sleeping and you drink all the time and you don't ever see the sun, right?
Yeah.
And then once that's all ruled out, they will give you a dose that is within human range that will get you back up to a normal human range, not a superhuman range.
Yeah.
Right.
And it is worth saying, it is less common as an aging symptom, but you can have too much testosterone. And actually a lot of, this is actually one of those things I find really kind of interesting. Some of the drugs that people take for feminizing are things that men take to decrease their testosterone because of the effects that high testosterone can have on heart health. Elevated testosterone can wreck your heart. So like that's what Spiro's. That's what Spiro does. If you know some trans women, that's what Spiro does, and that's why most people who take Spiro are cis men, is because it's
if you know trans men, it's really fun to train trans men because they're effectively on steroids.
Oh yeah. No, they go. I've known a couple of trans guys, and it's interesting to see the mentality shift where they're just like, what the fuck is happening to my hands?
Yeah, do you want to gain a lot of muscle really fast?
yeah. So meet some trans dudes. They will just you could get boobs and hair growth. That's so true. That is so true. There are some women who are doing TRT as cis women, and there was an interesting article about it. It was a strange series of choices that went into that article. So if you do, the hormonal imbalance is something that can absolutely happen if you are aging. Things about your body change in all sorts of ways. Oh, hold on, this is a fun name. Hold on. Aiden, thank you for the follow. I'm very committed to my bit of reading out people's names very literally. But yes, thank you for the follow. You would be surprised by the things that can change in your body as you get older. A lot of stuff that people tend to worry about, I don't think is super worth worrying about. Particularly for the men, yes, you are going to get more nose and ear hair. That's fine. You know how to use tweezers. And if you don't, you can figure out how to use tweezers.
You can learn.
You can learn how to use tweezers. There are things that can change about your metabolism that can cause you to just kind of need to take more vitamin supplements than you did in the past. It's not a big deal. We did not mention this at all, but you're going to need more fiber.
Everyone needs more fiber. Oh, we undereat fiber so much. 95% of Americans undereat fiber. Everyone needs more fiber.
I'm still laughing about the Twitter conversation where one of the big right-wing grifters was like, fiber is a scam. It's all you shouldn't. This is all a joke. And he's like, and people were just like, this man is in his 50s. Like, there's no way that a man in his 50s, if this man in his 50s is genuinely like cutting out his fiber to like 1 gram per day. For the bit, he's like the bravest poster on the planet, but he's probably lying.
I think I saw that. I didn't even look far into it, but I remember there being someone who said fiber was the enemy, and I'm like, all right, man. We have so many studies that it reduces all-cause mortality. To have high fiber. That is insane.
Imagine if that actually just turns out to make you immortal eventually.
Yeah, you know, I think
you get 99% of your calories from fiber, you just like live forever.
Digest nothing. That's the real secret.
just straight through. Those pipes are clean. Speed running.
Well, unfortunately, if you have too much fiber, things will be just as bad as if you had none at all. So.
But all right. And also, I should point out that if you are taking certain dietary supplements, notably iron supplements, definitely up your fiber. You'll be able to tell.
Oh yeah,
you'll be able to tell.
Still get your blood checked. PSA, big PSA. Just because you're taking a supplement doesn't mean you're absorbing all of that vitamin.
That's true. That's true. If you are taking vitamin C, you always want to take iron with vitamin C. That's one that I do know off the top of my head.
Yeah, and there's a lot that conflict too.
Yes. Oh yeah. Always be sure to double check if any of your meds can kill you with cause grapefruit to kill you. Yeah. That's always a crazy interaction to look out for. I hope that I feel bad for anybody whose favorite food is grapefruit, because like, oh my god, can that kill you? Staggeringly easy way to kill yourself off of grapefruit. But I think it is time for VTM to bid adieu, and I think I will call it a night myself, even though this is super early for me. If I'm feeling it, I don't know, there's part of me that wants to keep it going, but I like to have a stream.
Right.
I like to just have a stream. What else do you have to say for yourself, VTuber male, aka Sclimbo?
Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening, everyone. It's been fun talking about this stuff. Love talking about all this. I normally stream way earlier in the day, so we rarely see each other
12 hours ago.
Because I stream at 12 p.m. EST, whereas you usually stream at what, like 9 or 10 p.m.
VTuber male is the
10-hour difference.
Yeah, 10-hour difference. 10-hour difference. But we've talked about this for a minute, so I'm really glad that we got to do it. Yep.
And I'll be streaming tomorrow at noon, doing a holiday food tier list if anyone wants to come by.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm gonna be doing every holiday, so
I'll stop by. Do you have input on the raid message? I was about to leave the default raid message on, but I don't think I should.
We could always do brick and raid. People have been doing that, but who are we raiding?
I think I said I was going to. I am actually torn because some people who I thought were going to end didn't end. Hal is doing a retro game. Vera is doing Paper Mario, and Grimmy is chatting. It looks like she's doing some tarot.
Oh, cool.
Right now, I think. Do you have a emoji? What's your Oshi mark? I think you got an Oshi mark.
Oh, just muscle and then compass, but muscle's usually fine. Everyone gets the idea.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Nice.
There we go. Because I'm older man. I am older man. How are people feeling? How are people feeling? My good friend Vera, my good friend Grimmy, my good friend Halb. Which of these three do the people choose? I'm always so indecisive. I'm always so indecisive at the last minute.
Yeah, it's hard. I wish you could rate everyone at once, like split it 3 ways, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of want to. I've never gotten a chance to raid Grimmy before. Kind of want to do Grimmy.
Okay, we're going for Grimmy. We're going for Grimmy. We're going for Grimmy. She's also the one that started the most recently. So we've got.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I know Vera goes long, but Vera's been going for a bit already.
Vera's been for over 6 hours, and she should not be doing more than 6 hours because her her tracking setup is like a full body compression suit. It's
insane. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
nuts. I remember when she came onto my stream after she debuted, which was like an 8-hour stream, and she was just like, "Yeah, I just took off the suit and I can't move." All right, thank you very much. And yes, Sclimbo is one of the SOC's second generation. They've been kicking ass. They've been kicking ass. I've been so impressed with ad-free and with Malfi.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. We're getting out soon. Socials, that's me. I will be on my Discord tomorrow night. I said that I was going to do a community night last night, and then I didn't because yesterday was extremely exhausting. And I stream Monday 10 p.m. is my next big stream. That'll be my next big stream. I'll be almost certain the calligraphy. Monday 10 p.m. 10 p.m. weeknights is my main streaming time. All right. I think that's the end for us.
Alrighty, bye-bye everyone.
Goodbye. All right, the raid is sent.